Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Airy Sky Readley's video blog. I usually do Captain's Log, that's my diary and stuff, but today I want to address Coppa. That's right, it's the Children's Online Privacy Protections Act, Coppa. Now, for some of you out there wondering, oh, well, there's millions of YouTubers out there around the world. Well, this affects the United States. Now, my video is not for children. So if you see me in my videos, children, turn it off. I do not want you watching. I'm going to be doing tobacco, and that is not for children. I like to drink in my videos and get shit-faced in the videos. I like to fucking swear in my videos. Everything I do for me. I'm a small-time provider. I don't really give two shits about a lot of crap, but I will tell you, I do want to say, because they're trying to protect the children. Children are our future, yes, but if YouTube gets fined, okay, here's what happened. YouTube turned around with Google. Google bought YouTube and said, well, here's the deal. You got to be 13 or over to utilize. Right, Chloe?
Right.
So what happened? Basically, they turned around and did 13 or over. All of a sudden, 13 or over. All of a sudden, YouTube's like, hey, our content's for 13 or over. Well, a few years ago, people wanted to cut the fucking cable, okay? I can swear because this is my channel. Cut their fucking cable, use their phones, use their multiple tablets, cutting their cable out to stream as much content as they can, free of charge on YouTube, right? Guess what happened? Well, it goes like this. People turned around and started being penny pinching misers. Yep. Penny pinching misers. So what happened? Huh? What happened? Well, let's see. Is this kid content? Because I'll get to that in a bit. Okay, this is not a kid content video. I swear like Sailor when I'm angry. Okay, so this isn't kid content. I'm going to break it down from my perspective. So give me some time here. So what is going on? Is this kid content being intersex, hermaphroditic, or transsexual? No. Kids don't need to know at 5 years old what sex they are. I'm sorry to say. They can't make the determination. See, the content I'm talking about is a lot of different stuff, okay? I'm going to break it down in each and every little section, okay? But it's first, YouTube says we have to be talking about the content. Well, let's see. If I'm flipping from content, what are you going to do? Go after someone who's mentally unstable, who can flip from one content to the next? Talk about toilet paper, shit paper, fucking tobacco, cigars, booze, a Christmas tree, the little bunny in there. I mean, look, is the bunny children content? No, it's a fucking bunny. The bunny's basically, this bunny is not for children. The bunny is in the little window there. You see, look, there's a little bunny. He's looking for his food, but, it's not food time for him. You get your meal a little later. So it's not about the bunny who's in the video. You see, the bunny's like, hey, look at me. Okay. All right. So they turn around and they want to delete millions of videos. Okay. Millions. They want to go after the small YouTubers. Now, I've watched a lot of videos this morning. I haven't even sat down and talked about my daily thing, which is fucking Township. Usually I get into Township in the morning. Have you noticed I didn't?
Yeah.
This morning I got on. I was a little tired and cranky, bitching and everything else. And all of a sudden, Chloe's like, oh, yeah, you gotta take a shower. A lot of my videos are not, and I would say every fucking video, 100% across the board, is not for children. We talk about booze. We talk about tobacco. We talk about a lot of things. Now, I want to talk about YouTube for a minute. Okay. So Google goes ahead and buys YouTube. Okay. Buys YouTube. There's Google, the big Google ecosystem. There's Microsoft, and then there's Apple, okay? You don't see Apple basically doing the shit that Google's doing, okay? Google is basically, from what I understand, owned by the government. But because the government wants to make the settings, they decided to go punish YouTube 170 million saying, oh, well, you know, the problem is YouTube shouldn't have fucking got fined $170 million because of problems. You see, the problem isn't me or Chloe or Lieutenant Dinky or Commander Corey. We kids grew up in the 80s and 90s where it was a sunny day. You fucking went outside. You got basically kicked out on our ass and told to play outside. Nowadays, parents are so fucking lazy. They got to give the tablet. Here you go, little Tommy. Here, have the tablet. Watch YouTube. Mm-hmm. YouTube's for 13 or over. Fucking YouTube fought back and said, look, everything is in our content says adult or over. But then you got these fucking problems, okay? Fucking problems here. Here's the fucking problems. You fucking put a Christmas tree in your background, it's kid content. You put a background of Hello Kitty's, kid content. You put a little thingy right there, the bunny right there, kid content. How is the bunny kid content? So what do I do in my videos? Cigars, tobacco. Of course, I got to get some more dip eventually. So I'll send Chloe to get some today. But that is a different story. And that's how we do it here on YouTube.
You want me to run up store and get you some?
No, because it's going to cost me $8 fucking for one can.
Okay, don't push me back.
You, let me do my video. You see? This is adult content. I pay fucking $8 a fucking can. You see? $8.11. Okay. No, she doesn't get it. Concept. See? Concept, no, you don't. Concept is this. We're not talking about...
I do get it, but go ahead.
She doesn't get it. You see?
Yes, I do.
Would you quit interrupting me? When it comes to my videos, this is adult content. Tobacco is a content. We're not talking about fucking $8.11. We're talking about my video. All right. I'm not paying $8.11 fucking cents for one can. I can pay $16 and get 5 cans. See? That's adult content. Now I could sit there and talk about autistic retarded people, which would be under the scope of adult content. Now, YouTube wants to go after January 1st, 2020, anyone, and they want to delete millions of people's videos. And I wanted to get this out there for not just me, but to the Dinky, and the Poppy, and the Corey, and the Aya, and to all my people, Jose, and to my fellow people like Tara J, Gabby, Lexi, etc., etc. Be careful on your content. They're going to go, for example, my friend Tara J, who's an adult, has several YouTube channels for gaming. They could turn around and say, well, this video is geared for children, like Minecraft. However, because of our friend who swears on her channel, Tara J, and the fact that it could be transgender related and other issues, they could turn around and fine Tara J, for example, $42,500, just like me. They could just go and find me that because these people are fucking pussies. They're greedy pussies. Now, doing video game people getting content creator for making money, here's how it works, okay? So what happens is, when it comes to content creation, you got to check a box. Is this for adults or this for children? You see, if you do children, you're taking away your revenue about 85%, okay, because of ads. See, what happened is Google was turning around and watching kids go to through YouTube and Google search, and then they were putting ads out there of stuff that you want to buy. Now, mind you, I was just talking to Chloe today for a second, where she didn't get my example of content. I'm happy she does now. She's nodding her head going,
Well,
just like the Peter in the sex change thing,
I did get it.
So here's the deal with Chloe and I.
did get it in the first place.
Well, here's the deal with Chloe, okay? Basically, for example, if Chloe goes and makes a video of a typhoon in Arizona, and it's raining, and she doesn't click on this is for children, and she puts adults, YouTube can turn around and say, look, this content is a typhoon, it's raining, it's storming in the desert. This is kid content. Chloe gets fined. Now, if I turn around and make a video where I basically is talking about sex changes, breast implants, non-kid related shit like I usually do. The captain's log is something where I'm like, oh yeah, I went out and this, that could be considered a borderline content. But here's the thing. Google turned around and decided they're going to throw all creators under the bus. Not just my creators, but creators like old friends I haven't seen video making in a long time. They're going to throw them under the bus and say this isn't child content. Now, YouTube was going ahead from Google when they started all the way up to recently. They make their money in ad revenue. Everyone knows it. If you do a Google search and you put in, like the other day, I was looking for something in specific. It already knew that I was looking for that particular brand because it's tracking my cookies. So what they're doing is they're saying, look, YouTube turned around and said, hey, you have to be 13 or over to sign up in 2005 or only adult content. Well, fortunately, the YouTube creators like me and Chloe and Tara J, Lexi, Gabby, all my friends that make YouTubes, including the cigar channels, we're all going to be penalized because if we check this box is adult content. For example, smoking a cigar, reviewing a cigar, right? YouTube might turn around and say, oh, smoking a cigar and reviewing a cigar could be considered, in their fucking opinion, children content. I'm sorry, but me and Aaron basically put in a disclaimer a long time ago that kids shouldn't be watching our videos because it's adult related. Why do you think I do tobacco, for example? It's a nasty habit. A nasty habit, isn't it, Chloe?
Yes.
And because of it, I don't want kids getting into children content. Did you ever hear the story about the ESRB, Chloe? The ESRB rates video games. You have to be 17 or over and have a parent's permission to play Call of Duty, Medal of Honor, Halo, etc., right? Even that one that Aaron loved, Uncharted. Here's the deal. And when the ESRB came out, they started doing, for example, and I'm not talking about video games in general, I'm talking about E3. They decided to tell people what and what isn't, and the federal government got their hand in the cookie jar again on video games. So, for example, here's another thing about video games, okay? You play Harvest Moon, Friends of Mineral Town, or more Friends of Mineral Town, right? Basically, I can't quote it, but they said there's suggested themes of alcohol and tobacco, right? I can guarantee there's booze because if you want to woo one of the girls in the game, in the boys version, or the girls version, if you know what you're doing, which it's a farm simulation, dating simulator. I love those games. It talks about alcohol, all right? I think, a story is seasoned. The original stories are seasoned. For example, you can make wine.
Yeah.
You can make, or for example, Bethesda has made their games adult orientated. Kids play it, but thing is, I wouldn't want my 13-year-old daughter, if I had one, or 11-year-old son, Chloe agrees with me, playing the Elder Scrolls 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6 because there's booze theme.
Or there's also bloodshed, too.
Or, exactly. Or how about this, for example, for the ESRB, for example, since we're talking about adult content here. they go and they say it's a rated E, for example, I think, for Final Fantasy IV. Final Fantasy IV, second town, you got to go into a bar to get information. I mean, or you go in different places. I mean, you put bars in games. That should be raising the bar to at least 13 to 17. But, like Final Fantasy Tactics, you start out in a bar. So, to me, I mean, let me ask Chloe. Chloe's right over here. Guild Wars 2, for example. Chloe, booze in it?
Yes.
Do you think it should be played for 17 and older then, in your humble opinion?
Yeah.
There you go. You see, even...
And not only that, people actually talk about, there's also profanity used in the chat logs and everything.
Well, yeah, exactly. I was talking to a friend of mine that Aaron introduced me, Quasi. There's kids that are like 5 or 6 playing Call of Duty going, fuck, shit, fuck, shit, fuck. Sounds like Bell.
And they're actually telling everyone they're grown up and stuff, and they make up stories of being adults.
Well, exactly. So to me, my video content is always going to be adult related. Now, I
heard one where some 5-year-old was pretty much telling everyone how they're post-Trump. Trump's going to send men after them. And Trump's almighty in his opinion, and everyone who opposes him is an enemy. So it was a 5-year-old. I'm like, where's the parents?
Well, here you go. I mean, there was a game recently. I don't remember what game it was. This was a while ago. Don't quote me, but there was a game out there where they had tobacco leaves. And it's like, Elder Scrolls 3 or 4. You get tobacco, and it's a alchemical ingredient. I mean, personally, if you're going to put tobacco in a game like Elder Scrolls 4, at least utilize it. Put in a pipe or make it into a cigarette. Or eventually.
I hear in GW2 they might eventually put hemp as an ingredient.
Oh, yeah. You see? Hemp as an ingredient.
Well, yeah, that tobacco's great. Yeah, because it's more of like a crafting component type thing.
So my father-in-law Poppy just wrote and stated, censorship if misused. Okay, so Poppy just said this is YouTube protecting themselves and only themselves. That's right. That's why YouTube's got to reprogram the algorithm that you got to make content that's for children or adults. Well, mine is all about adults. Same with my other channels. And to me, let me tell you how I see this, okay? Literally, from all the reviews, not reviews, all the reports, right, that me and Chloe watched today, Chloe and I both agreed that the problem is they're going after the people that use computer programs to mask their fucking intentions, okay? When I started getting video content for certain videos, they said, do you want to monetize this? Well, I don't own a bank account, so I can't make money off my content. So to me, it doesn't fucking matter, okay? I made a few stupid videos out there on YouTube, but, whenever I look at my YouTube videos, almost 2,000 videos over the last fucking 10 years, okay? I look at the number, and YouTube goes along, and they delete older videos that no one even looks for, or whatever, So to me, this video is, I want to get Commander Jesse's opinion on this because Jesse's always telling me, oh, your older videos are better videos than my newer Captain's Log. But today, I just couldn't hold back and say, fuck the Captain's Log this morning. I want to actually do a video on YouTube on this whole Coppa thing. I mean, it's like me and Aaron doing a video about Senate Bill 5340 in the state of Washington where it says it's illegal to order pipe tobacco and cigarette tobacco and all this shit. And if you get caught, you go to jail 5 years for fucking tax evasion, 5 years for fucking ordering the shit because they're protecting the children. Well, in some ways, there's a way around it. You go to the Indian reservation, you buy a can of tobacco, you pay $12 for a can of pipe tobacco. There you go. You still save money. You just go to the fucking reservation. Again, etc. Now, reviewing like tobacco and reviewing fucking booze, that is basically adult content. I mean, look, Chloe said it herself, and Chloe, I'd like to get her opinion in a second. about fucking kids lying through their teeth. She just said they lied to play Call of Duty or Modern Warfare or whatever.
I mean, there's something going porn.
I remember back in the day,
I mean, like
when I was 10 years old.
I'm like 5 years old, you're 8 years old, your hormones shouldn't even be kicked in yet.
When I was 10 years old, me and some friends went behind a barn and we were looking at someone's penthouse collection. 10 years old, okay? My mother wanted me to learn the birds and bees as a woman. She liked the cartoons, which we're not talking about children cartoons. We're talking about adult cartoons and Playboy. I mean, look at it. Now, the new owner of Playboy basically is putting clothes on women, and Playboy has lost, for example, 75% of their market share. But another reason why? Chloe and I both agreed to it. You put a transgendered woman from France.
Even before transgender rights, Playboy shot themselves in the foot already by putting clothes over the parts that people originally subscribed for.
Exactly. Or Playboy, a lot of Playboy people got angry about intersex or hermaphroditic people like Caroline Cozy, Tula. She was in a Bond, and so a lot of people say, oh, well, they were a man, etc. So no, they were intersex or hermaphroditic. But again, the thing is,
way before then, people, were pissed that, that nobody's going to be completely nude because of all the parents.
And here's the thing that really irks the shit out of me about content. Okay, YouTube is only doing this for Americans. Okay, if you are, worldwide, I don't think they can enforce someone who's doing videos talking about breast implants, say in England, because it's England. They're talking about fines. I don't think the FTC can go and fucking fine someone $42,000, for example, $42,530, I think it is, in fucking England for their content. They could just delete the channel and say, fuck you, we don't want it. Now, here's the problem with the fucking thing, okay? The monetary thing, okay? They're basically looking at people making money. Video game reviews, like Arlo. He's being pummeled right now. I watch Arlo. He uses a Sesame Street character. He's being pummeled. Other people are being pummeled. People like subscribers like RGT85 or Spawnwave, they do like adult content for video games. They do reviews and stuff. But now they're going to be told, oh, this is, they could be the ones being penalized bigger because they're getting, or even though I don't like the guy and I subscribe to him, Happy Console Gamer, who grew up talking about like Phantasy Star and other games. The problem is the gamers are one of the people that are going to be penalized heavily because they're getting gaming reviews, for game reviews. Two is, the people that are being penalized are people that are making monetary things, saying, I don't own this video or this music for, say, Capcom Street Fighter games, or...
This could actually eventually hurt YouTube business.
Well, the problem is YouTube basically hit it from 2013 to 2018. Something to do with, well, we're not targeting children, but YouTube was lying and actually putting cookies on kids' computer that's under 13. And then when kids are watching videos, they see content for children and commercials. Now, I've been looking over some of my older videos, and I need to get this confirmed from Commander Jess. But from what I understand, watching some of my older videos, Chloe and I, we have certain channels we can go through. Like I said, I watch Tara J. And I have never seen a fucking commercial for a video game from Tara J or myself or Gabby or Icky Gabby or some of those other YouTubers. So it's basically the bigger content people for the ones making the most money off of these things. So they're going to go and do a global-wide sweep. And if you get caught being a video that's for children, now YouTube can turn around, okay? You can turn around, okay? In this day and age, parents go out and they buy movies, or they for example, there's movie reviewers, where they're saying, oh, kids get to talk about how they like Dora the Explorer or Frozen 2 or whatever. To me, here's how I see it, okay? If you're going to put kids in there, you better be kid contented. But if someone like me has a small channel time of, say, 300, 400 subscribers, and about smoking cigars, dipping tobacco, drinking booze, adult content all the way. And with me not making money, if YouTube wants to shut down my channel just because they think my videos are supposed to be for kid related when it's fucking about swearing like a sailor, drinking, smoking, whatever, then there's a problem because they're leaving that fucking big holes in the thing. They're leaving a lot of holes. So I got a person named Aboy Chap. It says he needs some help. Well, what can I help you with? So, the point I'm making is fucking YouTube wants to turn around and go after the people that are making a lot of money, or basically doing content for video gamers or movie reviewers or whatever, book reviews, and for example, and oh, this one's adult related, this one isn't. Now YouTube's gonna go through older videos and flag which one's adult, which one isn't. So if you are making money on your non-related children's videos, and all of a sudden they're saying it's children related.
Hell, from what I heard too, that there are a bunch of older people wanting children these days that think baby boomers are such great people and the millennials are the most evil people.
Well, so a boy chap says, me and my friend are trying to prevent Coppa from being in full effect. We both have videos on Coppa. Please help us share the video for the cause. We're not being silent on why should you, but well, yeah, exactly. You send me a link somehow, in the comment, and I will share your video. I will get it out there on YouTube. I will get it out there on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, etc. I am not going to go away quietly myself because for me, boy chap, the point is my videos are all fucking content for adults. I mean, literally, we once in a while we talk about video games, and we don't ask for money, people to watch all. Requires anyone to go to the channel latest video. All right, so I will show it, and so if anyone is out there in the contents, check out a boy chap's channel. There's videos on it, but I'm not going away quietly because I've been wondering what the fuck this whole thing is for a while. When I go and do a live video feed and all of a sudden I get the fucking content thing where it says, is this children's related? And I'm going, no, it isn't. I'm not fucking addressing it for children. I mean, look at YouTube, for example. They want to be what they did is they got fined $170 million. So what did they do? They changed the terms of service and said, we own the content that you give. So even if you're a fucking small time maker like me, and I'm not making any money, they're saying that they own my content. Well, frankly, no. In my videos in the past, I've disclosed that I'm the content owner. They can't do anything to me. And that's how I see it in the court of law. Now, I also see it that, certain things, like I've done some stupid shit in videos 10 years ago and 14 years ago and way back then. But my point is when I talk about things, I talk about adult content. The Star Trek theme is just a theme, but today's not a theme of Star Trek. Today's a theme of venting the shit out of my frustrations because Dinky, one of my subscribers and followers and cousin-in-law, she said, what are you going to do? Simple. Make sure you comment because I want your opinion, because even though you're not noticed how, make sure you heard the go in November. Remember, this is not a scam. Well, yeah, exactly. It isn't a fucking scam. Just like a boy chap said. It's not a scam. What they're doing is they're basically throwing the small-time people like myself or a boy chap or Chloe or Tara J, Gabby, Icky Gabby, Alexi, all these people under the bus by saying, oh, your video content's for kids, you're doing Minecraft. For me, I'm doing I may basically talk about video games in my video, but I'm talking more about what I want video game wise. But usually I'm doing adult content like, oh yeah, I got to go to send Chloe to a town to get me tobacco or something else, or talking about other things, like for example, I was talking about Harvest Moon, Friends of Mineral Town, and that's got alcohol and tobacco use. I've never seen tobacco, but if I say so, yes. Alcohol is a different story, and to me, I don't think children in the age of 21 should be doing it. But here's the thing about children these days: they will lie through their teeth. You'll click yes, I'm 21 or over. Just go look at Jim Beam, Jack Daniels, Red Stag, cognacs, wines, you name it. They'll do it because they're curious. Curious is kids. Kids are like Curious George. I find the problem with Coppa to be basically a broad spectrum where people say, oh, don't worry, your videos won't be deleted. I'm not worried about my videos being deleted because the problem is my videos are directed at adults, okay? Swearing like a sailor, etc., etc. Now, there's people out there saying, oh, well, my head's in the sand, my life's over. These are the people that make a living not getting a job and doing YouTube full time, 3 videos, 4 videos, 5 videos a day. To me, I think that is bullshit because you can't just go live on kids, and then they make videos and everything else on other issues, So to me, I will be taking some time to go over that boy chap when I'm done to post comment because frankly, I think it's fucking bullshit. Literally, I think this entire um, thing is completely and thoroughly bullshit. Literally. I mean, yeah, YouTube wants to say that we are a provider of YouTube videos, and these YouTube videos, we're not responsible for the content. Well, that's true. So if someone goes ahead and says something bullshitty like, here's a gun, go buy one, go fucking plug yourself. Wrong answer. No, you don't want to do that. What you want to that's stuff that you're liable for. But with me, I'm basically saying, look, when I grew up, when it was sunny, we were throwing on our ass outside to go play. Nowadays parents are so fucking lazy. They don't. They'll buy a kid a video game. They'll go and watch people do Pokemon reviews like Sword and Shield, and then those are content for all ages. If you want to know about buying a video game, I use YouTube for video game reviews to see what I want to buy, etc. So I know if the game's good, crap, or shit, are fucking useless. Whereas other people, use YouTube for cutting their cable so they don't have to pay fucking TV costs. And here's another thing. Coppa came out right when Disney Plus came out. So Disney's trying to horn in on the content by basically working with YouTube. And the problem is YouTube is fucking basically throwing everyone under the bus, and it's mostly these people that have 2, 3, 4, 5,000 videos that are making money off of every video for.
Disney could be doing part of this.
Because
they want to knock out the competitors.
Well, yeah, and here's another thing that Chloe doesn't realize is another company that's basically trying to fucking monopolize and crush YouTube is the fucking companies that control not just internet providers, but providers of things like DirecTV, Dish Network. When you turn around, here's an example, okay? A lot of people out there, they have internet. About 90% of Americans have internet, okay? As long as they got a good enough bandwidth and speed, they can go and get Netflix, Hulu, Amazon Prime, Siri, iHeartRadio, those things, right? Unfortunately, eventually the FTC is going to get so fucking tired of YouTube that they're going to fucking turn around and basically go ahead and start doing an FTC censor, I guarantee, in the next 20 years on radios, online radio channels like iHeart, Siri, etc. Because, it is about not protecting children, but it's protecting the people that make the money, like the people that make money, like the actors and the actresses, and they're there's a lot of YouTube content out there where you got to pay $2.99 like Amazon Prime for a movie or etc. Or you go to websites out there. Aaron used to do this all the time at home when he was alive, and he would look up things like Redbox or Pornbox or other shit, and that was his thing. But when it comes to the videos, there's yes.
No, I'm not talking to you.
So basically, you know, when it comes to the, they're protecting the wealthy, you know, basically. They're protecting the wealthy, you know, and to a point that they're protecting the wealthy to a point where they want to go after anyone who's a small content creator.
Trying to get this thing to wake up.
Content creator, and they're doing stuff that, you know, they're doing it for the people that are monetary. Now, if anyone's not making any money and they want to flag videos, they can. But when the FTC starts flagging people's personal videos, that's when I say it's time for you to dissolve your YouTube accounts and go somewhere else. But the FTC eventually is going to be like, oh, this person's using YouTube video for content. Then they're going to go, or not YouTube, Facebook, for example. Then they're going to crush Facebook. Then they're going to crush other places saying, oh, kids go here, like Patreon and stuff. So eventually it's not going to be safe to even make a video on YouTube, which means, you know, but then YouTube turns around, for example, and says, well, we're hosting your server, so we have, you know, free, royal free on your videos and etc. We can share it with people. We can delete them. We can do whatever we wish with your videos, which is fine. Unfortunately, to me, you know, I'm going to post a link in my description when I'm done, when I edit, to basically say, go out there, post comment to the FTC and say this is bullshit, because frankly, you know, the content creator should be charged up to $42,530 per video for violation. So, for example, if I click on the box today that says my video is for adult content only, and their computer algorithm says, oh, this person's swearing like a fucking sailor, yet we still think this is for in under 13, it's because YouTube just wants to go after every motherfucker that they want, because the government's fucking greedy son of a bitches. That's what it is. It's all about fucking greed. Now, I don't make money on my videos. I could give two shits less. I know people sit there and, you know, do what they want, but to me, it is just a bunch of bullshit. And, you know, a lot of people out there are just using my videos for entertainment. Like Commander Jess likes my videos. Other people like my videos. And, you know, to me, it's all about content, you know. And what is adult and what isn't. Now, swearing, that's adult content. Talking about video games with tobacco in it, adult content. Talking about Pornhub, Playboy, Penthouse, that one magazine that, you know, the people versus Larry Flint, you know, Hustler. That's all adult content. Kids shouldn't be thinking about Playboy, porn box, video games with booze and tobacco, for example. My videos are all about adult content. I don't sit there and tell a child, you know, go ahead and drink that booze. No, I say you're under 18, you're under 21. Don't even think about it. You got a young life to live. Don't start smoking. Don't start doing tobacco. Don't do, you know, whatever, you know, because to me, I mean, like Chloe said, for example, adult content, hemp. If the game started using hemp as an alchemical ingredient, cool. That's great. But again, you know, you got these people saying, "Oh, pot's bad and booze is bad and cigarettes are bad," and and let me just put it this way: if all this fucking shit is bad, then why is it that the fucking parents, for example, are being so fucking lazy that they don't want to fucking provide television access like we had in the 80s and 90s with either cable or fucking antenna TV or satellite TV? We're stuck with fucking other bullshit stories. For example, chips, cookies, McDonald's, Burger King, Dairy Queen, all these fast food places. Parents are so fucking lazy again. They'll go and get their kids these meals, and then the kids get fucking fat. Again, it's the fucking parents' problem. Now, YouTube was designed for small people, but Then all of a sudden something happened, and this happened, and that happened, and now the small people, the creators, are being nailed because people like the great gaming person like Arlo is being penalized because he's using a Sesame Street character, or someone like uh, RGT85 or Metal Jesus or Happy Console Gamer has all these video games in the background. So they're going to say, oh, that's children's content. It's not children's content. You can have the biggest porn collection in the world in the background. They'll think, oh, it's DVDs. These are clean videos when they're really fucking porn. Again, thing is YouTube's going to flag your videos being children if you got Hello Kitty in the background, or, for example, the bunny, the little bunny here, he's going to say, oh, the bunny is draws kids in. Or my service dog, who's a Shih Tzu, he's got a haircut. Oh, that's children's content. No, it ain't. It's fucking a dog. Okay, YouTube is basically making it so they can turn around and flag every video that's content created. I mean, literally, they can sit there and say, oh, this video of several of my friends who do cigar reviews is children's content. It's not children's content when you're reviewing a cigar and saying this tastes like this, or pipe tobacco, or this alcohol is, I mean, literally. For me, when I go and I watch videos and alcohol reviews, I want to know what I'm getting myself into for drinking. And my computer is adult content only. Now, I do like Family Guy from time to time, but then again, Family Guy is more adult orientated anyways, like Gwen Quagmire's dad having sex change. I mean, that's more of an adult content. I mean, look at one of the comments I read on another channel where someone said, well, it's not about the content users or what their topic's about, but it is. I mean, literally, one person said, look, no one knows these days these 4-year-olds' gender. They think they're male, female, maybe a toaster. I mean, come on. I mean, a toaster is not an adult content thing, but still, you don't know your gender. That is more so pushed to adult orientation. Yeah, a lot of these transgendered people that do before and after photos, it's adult content. I mean, literally, a child shouldn't be looking at someone who looks like, for example, an African American Navy SEAL, and now they have big breast implants and they look female, and they're like, oh yeah, I got facial film, look how cute I am, guys want to fuck me. I mean, when I talk about adult content, I'm talking about things like that. That is adult content. Talking about how the transgender community, they think they're more better than a genetic woman, so they want to get fucked. And I've talked many times over using my cousin Dinky as an example, where, Dinky has got the most greatest guy in the world, my cousin, and it's adult content. So, when it comes to these trans saying, oh, I could better serve your cousin. No, you can't. My cousin-in-law can serve my cousin just well because, them two are married. You can't just sit there and say you're more female than that. You're making the transgender community look bad, but you're also making these children wonder if they are meant to be a girl. Look at a video I watched. It was adult contented in England, where a guy went through 2 sex changes within like 17 or 20 years apart. This cup, for example, this is adult content. Says my wife says I never listen. At least I think that's what she said. I mean, that's adult content. I mean, me talking about Harvest Moon and alcohol, that's adult content. People sitting there and having YouTube go through their algorithms to find out what videos are real content and what isn't. It's also about monetary value. For example, if you put out a video that's kid content created, you're going to be losing your bell notification. You're going to lose your revenue. You're going to lose so much where you can't even put it in a playlist of a video that you like. I mean, they're basically going to make it so, to find your video, you're going to have to fucking find a search engine, and so you're going to have to find it through a search. I mean, last night I was asking Chloe about a video before bed. It was semi-adult content. It was about Jeff Bezos, And I just could not believe it. I watched 2 videos. I watched another video about a lady. It's adult content. She was wearing like sailor, but she got hurt on the job, and she's fighting Amazon. I mean, this is adult content that needs to be addressed, not the other way of fucking around. Literally, it means it needs to be adult content or adult orientated. So when someone basically posts video reviews and they have kids in it, then that means they gotta click it as a video for children because they're video children and stuff. Whereas others do personal views and personal gains about everyday use, you know, everyday use. And so to me, uh, everyday use, for example, like talking about everyday shit that's just boring, like food banks, turkeys, etc., swearing, etc., etc. That's adult content. Putting dip in my mouth, that's adult content. Drinking coffee, that's adult content. I don't think a kid. I grew up drinking coffee at 4 years old, so I don't think a kid should be drinking coffee at 4 years old. But back then we were growing up in a different era. Where now, YouTube wants to throw the small timers under the bus. Now, it could be they're just going after the people that do the big monetary gains. No one knows, but January 1st, 2020 is when people have to make a decision whether they're going to keep YouTube or dump YouTube. And a lot of people out there, could dump YouTube.
And they could come up with another channel which the government will take over at.
Exactly. See, that's what I was just saying.
Unless if they make a channel in our country.
Well, yeah, exactly. But like for example, sometimes there's gaming channels that out there through different channels like Tumblr, Hulu, or not Hulu. Other gaming channels like through Patreon where you can use different video content. Or soon the FTC is going to basically flag your podcast. Like through Anchor, and they'll be like, "Oh, this is children's content." They're not going to just target YouTube; they're going to target the entire fucking U.S. when it comes to anything related to social media. I mean, eventually, they're going to probably, and I'm guaranteeing this within 25 years.
It's because the government wants to control us like robots.
Well, exactly, and that's the thing. The government's going to fucking start eventually controlling videos in Facebook.
They want to where we'll have to have chips in our head, and if we have any ideas that go against what they believe in, chips explode.
Well, the thing is that once they start controlling YouTube, because YouTube's losing money, and they're losing money at 2 fronts. They're losing money for the monetary people that are paying for the ads, and 2 is they're losing money for all the server space they're using. So if they could go wipe out a lot of videos, they can claim, oh, well, this violated. But then the FTC can come in and say, oh, well, your video is being fined because you swore on your video and it's children content. No, it isn't. If you're basically sitting there and you're a rapper and you got the rap music in the background, like, I want to fucking shoot fucking pimps and kill hoes and fucking rob banks, and shit like that. That's adult content. Click on the adult content box because that's what it is. It's not the other way around where you're like, oh, this is for kids. No, my videos, and now that they're making me do click on adult content, my videos are all adult content. I'm not, but they're saying, oh, well, that is, as I was trying to explain to Poppy and to Dinky and to Jose and the rest of them, basically what the video is they'll classify what your video is. So, for example, if this video's got nothing but pure adult content, that's what I'm addressing today for this Coppa thing.
Hell, if we say something about a corrupt hospital on YouTube soon, they'll probably fine us for it.
Yeah, exactly, because,
it's because they're favoring it. The thing is, the government protects big corporations.
Exactly, and the government's protecting the rappers, the gaming companies that don't want their music out there for people to listen to their favorite tunes for video games. So they're trying to delete all these people's content and saying, oh, well, you're violating this or that. But if you basically say, I do not own the content and material of this music CD or this music track, they're going to still try to go after you because you might have 1 million subscribers that like your gaming music, for example. So they're going after those people. Now, smaller people like me, they could go after me. But what are they going to get out of it? Jail me for the rest of my life because I basically said, look, one guy basically said it himself. And I'm going to do Arlie Ermey's best thing in Full Metal Jacket when he says, looks like the best part of you ran down to the crack of your mama's ass and ended up a brown sand on the mattress. I think you've been cheated. I think the guy that's at the FTC that says the content users of YouTube are the fucking barrels and like shooting fish in a barrel. Okay, well, guess what? That's adult content right there. So if someone's using that part of the video, that's adult content saying, look, this guy here wants to penalize you for basically being a small-time user. YouTube gets fined, so they threw the YouTube creators under the bus.
Whenever Democrats, pretty much, speak about equality in that, they want to deem that adult content only. But when Trump spews racism, says the N-word, they say that's okay for children to hear. The government does.
Well, here's the problem also, okay? I'm going to bring up another thing, okay? Chloe, I'm going to ask you a question. Now, Chloe knows I'm big on certain things, okay? I'm not going to bring it up as adult content, but I will bring it up just for this part of my video. Chloe knows I'm a big, big fan of the Second Amendment, okay? They want to get rid of the gun owners on YouTube by saying, oh, yeah, but gun owners sit there and say, well, if this happens, that happens, or we're going to rise up, have a civil war, blah, blah, blah. Well, what happened to the First Amendment, freedom of speech? Well, I'll tell you what happened. YouTube put in their terms of service saying that freedom of speech doesn't apply. So if you want to go and talk about overthrowing the fucking government, for example, again, adult content, they can turn around and delete your video because you said overthrow the government. I'm sorry. Like Chloe said, they want to make it so these newer kids in this day and age are fucking robots. That's what they are. They want fucking little subservient little robots that can do their job, work and work and work and pay for Social Security taxes, pay their taxes, make the government get bigger and bigger, bloat the government, let the government spend billions of dollars for aircraft carriers when the rest of the countries are saying, why does a country like the United States need 13 carriers or 20 carriers, there's 50 carriers and 600 destroyers? I mean, I was talking to a guy the other day on the Navy. He was in the Navy, great guy, by the way, and me and him were shooting the shit, and he's like, yeah, I've served in the Navy, and he was a real great guy. And again, adult content, and no one will get this because it's the content creativeness. But I said to him, so, sir, what cans have you traveled on? He said, frigates, destroyers, cruisers, minesweepers, helicopter ships, amphibious, etc. He was more impressed, being an adult content thing when I said, what cans have you traveled on? Usually the Navy people don't talk about, I served on this can or that can. They basically call them cans because they're like 10 cans floating in the ocean. Basically, that's why they nickname. Some are made with steel. Some are, I don't know if any are made of aluminum, but in the old days, beer cans were made with steel, but before steel got a problem, so they had to switch over to aluminum. They've been aluminum ever since. So you see your soda cans, they're aluminum. You see your energy drink cans, they're aluminum. So the content of my video is basically saying, look, you click that box for adult content. Me, I always utilize my videos to be adult content. Now, YouTube, on the other hand, can turn around and say, oh, well, you're swearing this is considered for children. No, it isn't. If you got to sign up on YouTube, and Chloe said this, and you're 13 or over, you're saying you're 13 and over, you can do videos. Now, YouTube is saying, oh, well, if mom and pop wants to be fucking lazy and let their kids watch whatever they want because they're too cheap for TV anymore and they want to pinch corners for their booze or their cigarettes or they need to pinch money for food, then, they're trying to get rid of the YouTube people. And it's YouTube's basically taking a hit left and right. YouTube, and Google itself makes money off of advertisements. I mean, I was talking to a friend of mine her name's Patty. She's deaf. and she can read lips, and we were conversing about what YouTube does, and she did not know YouTube makes money off of ads. For example, I put in under Google search last night for her Google Chromebook. It pulled up like 30 different brands of Chromebooks. Everyone knows that it goes off the number one clicking would be like Samsung, something like that. So you get the idea. So they're making money off of ads. That's how Google keeps floating. I don't know how fucking Apple makes their money or Microsoft, but I don't like Microsoft, at all. I have to use their products, but that's about it. But my adult content is simple. I am not a happy woman because, frankly, the problem with YouTube and etc. is I don't make money off of my videos. I do this as a form of entertainment for Commander Jesse, Dinky, Corey, Aya, anyone else who's watching, Gabby, Lexi, Tara J, etc. But I don't do videos, and I hope if Tara J is watching this, that Tara J should do a video talking about Coppa herself, because this is going to affect not just the transgendered community when it comes to talking about transitioning male to female, female to male, because people are going to sit there and say that's adult content. Beautiful blonde bimbo has now got a fucking beard, and, they're going to say, oh, well, we're corrupting the kids. They're trying to basically, condition the kids, and here's the problem, okay, now, you got the government who's saying, oh, well, we need to control net neutrality. We don't want net neutrality. Well, in some states, like 20 states, there's net neutrality. You can't basically cap someone after using 2 gigs of data or 2 terabytes of data. You can't. You got to keep the same thing. Now, I've never seen many people using that much data. I've heard it happen, and that's where they get nailed big time in states that don't have these, they have caps, whereas me, I have an unlimited data cap, so I don't worry, but I usually use YouTube mostly, or, things like Township or Facebook. I mean, when I talk about my videos, okay, and I've talked about this in my own anchored podcasts, my own podcast channel, the government wants to sit there and say, oh, we're going to go after this fucking bastard who wants to be a woman because or claims to be a woman or post-operative or whatever, not to bring it up, to many people. But they're basically saying, oh, well, the thing is, this is another way that they can fucking crush the fucking competition and get rid of the fucking small YouTubers, because they're basically, they don't want these fucking small YouTubers making videos about useless shit like overthrowing the government, for example, or revolting, or talking about, they want the freedom of speech on YouTube to go away, because they're, and so, it's not just a Republican thing, but it's a Democrat thing. The Democrats want to condition the children, no smoking, no drinking, no pot, no drugs, no video games. They just want a robot that goes out. But family nowadays, for example,
But then you got Republicans saying don't want people learning about diversity and all that. The Republicans want children to learn that you're white, you need to only accept your own race.
Exactly. And here's the problem with my adult content again. They're also saying no sex changes, et cetera, et cetera. Now, the Republicans do have a good thing going for them when it comes to video games. They're like, look, we shouldn't be fucking turning around and telling the Democrats that you need to be 18 or over, or 17 or over to play Call of Duty. I mean, look, the parent buys the fucking game. The parent knows what's best for the fucking child, not the fucking other way around. Now, this is why the fucking Republicans hate the fucking fact that they turn around and say, oh, well, look, mom and dad is confusing their child. They shouldn't be a parent because their kid doesn't know whether they're male, female, or a toaster. I mean, come on. The fucking problem is the facts. In some ways, the Republicans know certain things. Now, the Republicans are Bible Christians. They want everyone to follow Christian standards of ethics. Well, whatever happened to this country being fucking diverse?
And they don't want children learning other religions. They want children to learn white Christianity, and that white man is supreme. That's what they want America to know. That's what Republicans want the children to know. Well, and if it's diversity, they consider diversity adult content.
Well, let me put it this way: when you see kids,
the thing is, it should be the other way around. Right-wing politics should be adult-only content. Family values should be adult content.
Yeah, for example, I want to give an example. Okay, they think right-wing Christians, politics, I agree, should be adult content only because you can get into debates. Religion's the same thing. You shouldn't be telling your kid at 4 years old that they're Muslim and need to read the Quran, for example. I mean, this is adult content, the Quran. The Book of Mormon, again, adult content. Your kid shouldn't be told what they can and can't do, but that Christians, they're saying, oh, well, we need to have clean content, so let's fucking cut out all these people that swear, talk about guns, talk about religion, talk about politics. I mean, the point being is when you basically see what's going on, it's all about a brain fracture, a brain freeze. You don't see me turning around, okay? Yes, I've had debates with my family members, Dinky and Corey and others, but they were creative, competitive debates, were constructive. Whereas nowadays on YouTube, you can't do constructive. They want to take away your first rights amendments. They want to take away your second rights amendment. They want to basically make it so kids sit there and say, Mommy, Daddy, I don't want the guns anymore because they kill too many people in schools. It's gonna happen.
I want to speak about what I believe in because it will offend everyone, and I'm afraid the government will hunt me down.
Well, Chloe made a statement the other day talking about politics and religion, mostly religion. She looked at me and she's trying to change so she could be a better person. But Chloe turned around the other day and out of her own mouth, borderline rage at the time, and she probably doesn't remember this, but she turned around and says, no wonder why these fucking 4-year-olds on up are now all going fucking atheist. Because they're being rammed down the throat that, you have to follow the right-wing politics, or you have to fucking follow the Second Rights Amendment, or you have to follow religion.
We're saying God hates these certain people. God wants,
Does the Bible ever say God hates Muslims? No. Does the Bible say God hates Christians? No. Does the Bible say God hates Hindus? No. But all these people are ramming down their kids' throats. So what's happening? The government has to step in now and say, oh, well, this is this, or that's that, or this is this, or this is that.
Well, the government's now, because of Trump, is trying to force Christianity down everyone's throats.
Exactly. And to me,
you got apparently some people have been even intruded by military government police because they didn't believe in the Bible.
Yeah, in other countries. The point is...
Well, in this country, too, there's been cases.
The point I'm trying to make is the FTC... Here's the problem with the FTC, okay? I'll tell you the other problem, okay? The FTC is bending over backwards, and they're basically raping every fucking son of a bitch out there, and bitch, who's fucking basically making videos, whether you be transgendered, religious, video game. They want to fucking crush everyone. I mean, the FTC is getting their orders from someone who wants to fucking do it. Well, yeah, they had a law that was put into place in like the 90s for Coppa, but now they're trying to expand it more. The problem is I believe the FTC didn't realize the fucking internet was going to get this too powerful. And so nowadays, look, you go to Amazon, for example, Jeff Bezos came out with a Amazon-only children's Alexa version that looks like a fucking barber pole. Or like one of those fruit striped gums, with the different colors, like a little barber pole, like a various colored mint or not, peppermint or spearmint type candy. It's like a little dot and it's colored and it's for kids. And in my opinion, Chloe and I have talked this many times about the Alexa. How many fucking family members need to give their 4-year-old an Alexa that they can talk to before bed? I mean, I'm sorry. Oh yeah, play my favorite music, please. Blah, 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 blah. I mean, you don't see Google coming out with a Google Home Hub or a Google Home Max for a kid. No, Amazon had to do it. They wanted to cash in on the kids. But at the same time, they're turning around and trying to crush YouTubers. And I believe eventually YouTube, or I should say, not just YouTube, Google will fucking fail. I mean, literally. The internet is getting too powerful. You got all these other countries saying, get rid of the fucking guns in America. These children should be killed off because of guns and stuff. And, the government's taking one step at a time. You're saying, well, you're not entitled to your freedom of speech. Oh, yeah, you're entitled to your freedom of speech. I've talked to a law enforcement officer, said, look, I had a talk with an officer the other day, okay? And I was talking to the officer the other day, and I said, out of kindness to the officer, I said, what does values of the freedom of speech? He said the freedom of speech is your own opinion, even if it's public. For example, you can be at a debate, and you could say something like, for example, again, this is kid content, not kid content related, it's adult on my channel all the time, including today. And he says you could sit there and say on the video, I support kids, protecting kids, etc. But comes to your own rights, fuck them. Well, in my opinion is when they're doing this, yes, they're trying to protect. They're trying to protect online piracy. I get that. They're trying to prevent kids being extorted and stolen and sent for slavery. I agree. We need to protect them. That's why you go into being a woman. Chloe's seen this herself. Going into say the bus stop in Mount Vernon, they got a sign: if you're exploited or being used as a child labor, or slave, or adult trafficking, call this number. They're trying to protect those people, but at what cost? I mean, I don't want to sit there pinching a loaf and looking at a giant poster that's 4 foot by 3 foot mounted on a wall saying, if you're exploited, call this number. How many people are going to be fucking exploited and seeing a number that they should call while sitting on the shitter? Or sitting on a bus and you look up and you see a screen that's talking about 2020 bus fares and it says, if you're exploited, call. I mean, how many people are going to be paying attention to the screen going, I mean, literally, when I talk to law enforcement says the freedom of speech means, certain things. Like, for example, he said someone could sit there and basically be sexually assaulted, for example, and someone could say something like, yeah, if I had my gun at the time, I would have fucking shot the motherfucker. He said that's basically stating you would have defended yourself, but for some reason you didn't have your gun, you lost your gun or whatever. But, you're basically speaking freedom of speech, self-defense. Now, if you went out and said, yeah, I want to go cap these fucking people or be racist, like I hear a lot of people on Moses Lake calling the white crackers, and the white people are calling the Mexican beaners. I don't support racism. That's the thing. My adult content says do not be a racist asshole. I mean, there's too much racist assholes out there. Or a guy turns around and says, I want to cap every fucking tranny because they're all fucking deceiving people. They all need to die. Male to female, female to male. That's a hate crime. Now, if you basically talk about it in public or in private and you say to Chloe, yeah, I'd like to fucking do this and fucking do that, crack this person, beat that person, and poke this person and whatever, you're saying it in private, which is freedom of speech. But if you go out and you say it in public, they might red flag you as a possible terrorist. Again, adult content. So you see what they're doing is they're basically sitting there and saying the broad spectrum of 32 million YouTube channels. Apparently, YouTube keeps deleting channels all the time. How many YouTube channels are going to be left? More likely, the people that are going to be left, in my opinion, in the next 20 to 25 years, if they don't take away all the video publishing things, is they're going to turn around and they're going to make videos. They're going to do stuff that people won't like. For example, taking away everyone's abilities. It's all about taking away the monetary values of people's videos that are actually generating revenue and supporting people so they don't have to work. I've seen a lot of videos out there that are so educational videos that, to me, I would think, yeah, this is adult content, but that's because how many 4-year-olds is going to sit there and go, oh, yeah, Mommy Chloe, I'm going to go watch videos today on Airstream trailer. Oh, I want a 33. Oh, I want this fifth wheel with a jetted tub in it. How many kids are going to do that? To me, that's adult content anyways because they're looking at buying a trailer. A kid doesn't need to know what trailer he's going to be happy running around a little trailer.
Don't want their patients watching adult content.
Exactly. So,
it's because they want to control them and milk the cash cow.
Exactly. So to me, this video, you know, me and Chloe wanted to go fucking for the throat. And it's not just about, you know, content. It's about, you know, etc. Now, I've asked many times over and over and over to Tara J, Gabby, Lexi. They've given me plenty of advice on how to go about publishing games that I'm reviewing. But, you know, after watching and seeing all these people about Coppa, if you basically do a video game review, oh, it's child content. So if I'm playing an old game like Blood, love that game, Blood 2, let's give Blood 2 example, adult content, and Chloe and I are reviewing it, and I say, hey, Chloe, check that out. That guy fucking died, and he's in a fucking washing machine, and the lady next to it says, I don't know how he got there. He just fell in. That's adult content. Or the guy sitting there and he's like, I live again. He's like, ah, burn, baby, burn. He's got the insect repellent and a little light, Zippo lighter. You know, that is adult content. But they're going to say right then and there, oh, this is a video game review of Blood 2, which is blood and guts. It's children content. So Google's going to sit there and turn around with YouTube and change the content around.
Well, they even want to make the history of African Americans adult content, where children's content, or they want to make Confederate history children content for children to learn. It's the white rhinos who want this. Okay.
Well, here's the point. Okay, the point I'm making is this. YouTube's going to turn around and they're going to go with their fucking computer algorithms, just like fucking Amazon. Okay, let me talk about algorithms for a minute. This is my channel. I'm talking about whatever shit I want. Let me tell you about Amazon. Let me tell you about Amazon. Let me tell you about fucking Google, okay? Google turns around, right? They basically put tracking cookies on everything you fucking do. For example, me and Chloe were adults. We have adult content on our computers. I mean, literally. We don't have children in the family, okay? So we're not worried. Then there's other people out there that say, oh, we need to protect the children. I agree, but at what cost of the YouTubers who's basically expressing their personal feelings? Now, yes, you know me. Chloe knows me. Chloe says I'm a saint, right? Mm-hmm. But Chloe also knows that as a minister of God, you don't sit there and go, oh, yeah, if Trump's getting peace, we're having civil war. You don't say civil war on fucking YouTube. That's where you get the ATF and the BATF knocking on your door, taking your guns. I mean, what type of fucking person? Oh, freedom of speech. Your freedom of speech has been waived when you do YouTube, apparently. But, you know, I don't think YouTube's going to give two shits about my video content today because, frankly, I'm expressing what Coppa is. They're going to change the content around and say, oh, this lady here is doing tobacco. This one's drinking. Oh, hold on. I just want to say something. The other day, I did a video. Dinky didn't know about it because she wasn't watching it. Talking about Bird Dog. This is a whiskey that's nasty. Now, if you drink 5 or 6 shots, you can handle it, okay? Adult content. I like Evan Williams and Jim Beam and Jack Daniels honey, and I like flavored stuff. But I'm not telling a kid to go out and buy Bird Dog. That's an adult content thing. This, Evan Williams, good old half gallon. It's been empty for like 2 months, right, Chloe? Mm-hmm. Chloe, you think I'm going to go on my YouTube channel, which my freedom of speech, and I'm going to sit there and say, every kid at 4 years old needs to buy a bottle of this. You know what Chloe would do? She'd be fucking ripping me a new asshole 8 ways from Sunday, same with Dinky. I mean, they have some, Chloe does have some common sense and some moral values at times. You know, me and Aaron used to do cigar reviews and booze reviews, and we would sit there and state, turn the channel off, you know. Point, I'm going to talk about algorithms for a second. Now, YouTube and Google uses algorithms, okay? They put tracking cookies. They put tracking cookies on your fucking, Google does it, Microsoft does it, Apple does it. Yes, Safari, Apple does it. Google does it with Chrome. Mozilla does it with their Mozilla. Opera does it with Opera. Everyone has to have a tracking cookie now to find out what you're doing. Now, some of these tracking cookies could be collecting so much personal data about you. Mine is credit card info. Don't quote me on the credit card info. But the point I'm making is when it comes to Coppa is They're turning around and using YouTube, Google, etc. to track everything you do. For example, someone could sit there and say, go through the ISP command through an internet service protocol, even without a computer, and say, do you know what websites they do? They have programs out there that says, oh, yeah, Airy Sky goes to YouTube, goes to video game news places, goes to Facebook, goes to, and plays Township. How fucking
No, just keep going.
how fucking boring am I? I'm so boring. No one gives two shits whether I fart or don't. Look at my cousin and cousin-in-law. My cousin loves shopping. Okay, Amazon. My cousin Corey, he's awesome. Okay, I don't see him doing much on the internet. I think it's because he is, in my opinion, a loving patriot that knows how bad the internet is. He works with technology all the time, so I think he just doesn't want to get involved. But you know what? That's cool. So my point is there's people out there, they can track you through your phone, what websites you're at, and whatever. But here's the thing about the algorithm. Amazon wants to set up an algorithm. Eventually, they want to have a delivery service in every town with a warehouse that carries items that loads on a truck. So, for example, if you Amazon them, wanting to buy, let's just say I was looking at tights. Here's an example, adult content, tights. Anyone can buy them. Men can wear them too. Women especially. I went ahead and looked up white tights. I was looking at Walmart. Now, they want to have an algorithm that says, oh, Airy Sky is looking at tights. Let's put this in the truck. This is the size she needs and whatever. Figures it all out, loads it up. So when they come by, oh, hi, Airy Sky, do you want some tights? We know you were looking at tights. You're sitting there going, I was looking at it, but why load the fucking truck up? Now, for example, hypothetically, okay, they want to take and do a whole Amazon load, okay? For example, I'm very unpredictable when it comes to Amazon, okay? Amazon sits there, right, and they say, oh, 99% of people that does an Amazon search usually purchase those items, okay? Me, I put them in my shopping cart, then I put them in for save for later. I buy when I want, when I'm interested, or, when I think it's proper. Now, I have Prime, so basically I've been buying a little more off and on, but the algorithm is they're going to sit there, and, for example, Dinky could need 6 rolls of cherry dip. Let's just say Amazon starts selling cherry dip at $10 a roll. I go in and say, oh, I want to spend $60 in dip. They'll be like, okay, in the cart, sent. Then they'll realize, okay, this lady likes cherry skull. No problem. But the algorithm is they're thinking that you're going to go and purchase right away. So they're trying to plan ahead for the loading of a truck. For example, so say someone sits there and says, oh, let's just say, again, Airy Sky, that's me. Oh, she has a wish list that's 3 miles long. So they load up 2 semi trucks and bring it to my house and say, what do you want to buy? To do that, Mr. Bezos is going to have to buy like 50 million semi trucks just to have your name on it and drive by and say, oh, yes, you were looking at Rune Factory 3 and 4 and these Harvest Moon games. You interested? Okay. Where, is with me, it's fine. But loading everything on your wish list, that's ludicrous. That's just so much work just to load up a truck that could take a week to load it. And then what do you have? A storage bay? Let's just say Mr. Bezos goes ahead and does this route. Just hypothetically, it's a stupid damn idea. And he buys 300 million semi trucks, and each semi truck in each area has a bay, and it's loaded with your favorite goods. Now, let's just say you go ahead and you buy 50% of your stuff, right? Then he's like, oh, well, 50% is good. We can continue. Whereas someone else sits there, loads it up, they might buy 3 items in a year. So the truck sits there with fuel in the tank, whatever. Again, the adult content is corporate greed. They're trying to sell you items. Now, when I go on watch video game reviews, for example, I don't see any commercials that often about games. Maybe there's a couple for the App Store for Android, iOS, or Microsoft. That's it. Literally, I was shocked, that what Amazon does, for example. So to me, having this whole Coppa thing, if anyone needs to be basically crushed at the subatomic level when it comes to content, it should be Amazon. Selling so much things like the Kindle for kids. They're going to have Kindles for kids soon. So, Amazon's trying to crush the reading book market. But as long as paperbacks and hardbacks are still available, people want physical copies, they're going to buy it over paying 2,000 or 3,000 books for a Kindle. Because what if your Kindle fails? Oh, you can go and download your books again. But here's the problem with downloading your books again. What if the Amazon pulls 90% of your books from your library and you can't get them anywhere? They can do that. The digital content, they can remove games, add games, remove stuff that isn't making money. Basically, what Amazon, YouTube, Google, iOS, Apple, Microsoft is doing is they're trying to weed out what's not popular money-wise and only take stuff that's making them money. Eventually, they're going to only keep stuff that's going to be very popular. For example, YouTube. YouTube can't make money, so they're going to destroy someone's account like Arlo's or RGT85. It's like, oh, yes, I got this game for free, and all of a sudden he's basically being told, well, you're getting fined because this is child content when you click the adult content or you click the adult content and it's for children, and they're saying you lied because, So what they're doing is they're going to go through with an algorithm, again, a computer program that's going to go through your videos, which they have supercomputers, and they're going to go through it and say your video is 3 hours long. They're going to turn around and look at your video that's 3 hours long bitching about Coppa. And they're going to say, oh, this person's been swearing so much, tobacco use, drinking, all this content is basically collected as they clicked on the box, adult content. Where someone sits there and says, oh, yes, this is adult content for the older people. This is for video game reviews and something. All of a sudden, they turn around. This is the algorithm. And the computer goes, oh, they got video screened footage of Pokemon Sword and Shield or Pokemon Bow and Arrow. Let's just say hypothetically, new one. Pokemon Axe and Warhammer, whatever. I'm just throwing some names out there, right, Chloe? They're going to sit there and click to say the adult content thinking, oh, this is adult content. Then they find out they deceived, and guess what? There's up to a $42,530 fine because they didn't click this content is for children. But the reason these YouTubers are clicking on the adult content only is for two reasons, and I can tell you this is because A, they want the comments if they're doing live feed or non-live feed. 2 is they want the bell notifications for making money. 3 is they want people to put their videos in their own private video feed so they can actually, make video watch lists or playlists. Whereas you click on the children's content, they take that away. So what YouTube's doing is they're turning around and saying, look, if you're going to do video game music or book reviews or movie reviews, and and the content is, say for all adults, they're going to put it under children. Now, if it's, let's just say hypothetically, okay, let's just say one of my favorite actors, what was his name?
I don't know.
The guy from Coming to America, not John Amos, the other guy, that African American guy.
Eddie Murphy.
No, not Eddie
I don't know that.
The one that says "Go the fuck to sleep."
I don't know.
Samuel L. Jackson, for example. There you go, Samuel L. Jackson. He says "Go the fuck to sleep." If he does a video and he says, reading the book, "Go the fuck to sleep," they can flag that as it's for children, even though children shouldn't be hearing, Samuel L. Jackson talking about "go the fuck to sleep." You see, that's adult content. Fortunately, YouTube wants to turn around through Google and flag videos that you can click on adult content and say, look, this guy here did adult content talking about videos, like say Tara J, for example, sitting there and doing a video on Minecraft, and she's like, yeah, she always has her catchphrase at times, "you pussies." And she turns around and says, "you pussies," for example. She could turn around and they could say, oh, that video, even though you're saying these are derogatory things, this is a content video for children. You're uploading Minecraft, for example. Bam. Fined. So technically, YouTube could go either or. They could sit there and you can make a content video for kids when it's really for adults. They're going to nail you for a fine. If you do a video that's strictly adult-oriented, their computer could turn around and say that it is children video. And then, again, as I've seen in other YouTubers today talking about Coppa, they could turn around and say, this Coppa video, is children's content. Yet, if you ever go get served to court because you're liable for your own videos, thanks to the fucking YouTube and FCC or FTC, Federal Trade Commission, that you can't win. I mean, you could sit there and say, well, my content's 13 or over, or my content's 18 or over, or my content's, they don't care. They're going to go off of their guidelines and say, guess what? You're under the fucking bus, you motherfucker. You're going to be paying $29 million. Fuck you. You're going to prison. You're going to be fucking out of the country forever. Blah, blah, blah. Next thing you're in prison for life. All because these fuckers. And what happens if they take away all the people that in this country that have YouTube videos, right? And they send them all a packing and they're in prison. What then? They control the kids. Little Johnny grows up with no dad. Next thing you know, 30 years later, Johnny's dad's out and he's like, anyways. And they're like, hey, Dad, I didn't grow up with you because, blah, blah, blah. I mean, the thing is do we really want this? They're basically trying to target the kids to make them more into fucking robots. Chloe even said this herself. They're trying to make them more into fucking robots. I mean, what do you have to say?
I'm just making them robots. That's all I have to say.
Yeah, you must be upset.
Oh, it's just everything's taking forever to load.
Well, probably my upload. That's why. Blame it on me. Even though we have fast internet, we're supposed to be getting great uploads, great downloads, etc. So maybe once my video is done, Chloe can but you guys get the idea here on my channel today. Usually I don't do a long ranting video, but this had to be addressed, not as a captain's log, but the thing is the FTC is losing fucking money left and right. And to enforce it, they gotta pay their people. So they're saying every fucking infraction is gonna cost the government $42,000 for what? Eventually technology gets cheaper and cheaper, where technology is basically a drop in the bucket. You could be paying $150 to $200 for something. Instead, they're charging up to $42,000 for a single infraction. So, for example, someone has content of, say, 2,000 videos, okay? 2,000 videos. Let's just look at this, for example, okay? Let's pull it out. 2,000 videos times $42,530 equals, you're looking at $85 million for just 2,000 videos. That's $86 million almost in legal fees. YouTube has just made half their money back by the fines, by the FTC coming on one person. Now, if you had 32 million people and billions of videos, and I'm talking billions, YouTube knows the number, and they cut out only the people in the United States, it's all about a money grab, basically, because look at the fucking people. As Chloe said, you think they're going to go fucking get some guy from England who's, oh, yes, today we're going to be talking about, no, they can't fucking touch the guy. Now, maybe they can say, oh, this is, but the thing is YouTube's only doing this, I think, in the United States. I mean, look at YouTube the other day. I was looking at some videos in my favorites list that I favored a long time ago, and the videos I used to watch with Aaron, they turned around. And they're saying they're region locked, basically. These videos that are region locked, it's because people like the History Channel, Discovery, etc. turn around and say, oh, well, we're going to block this motherfucker because, they need to go and pay the $40 for our video. And you go to Amazon, you can find the same fucking video for $9. So they're trying to basically make a fucking killing by fucking trying to say you got to go to the PBS news shop to buy this book when you can buy it for $5 on Amazon. Whereas Amazon's like, oh, we have it cheaper, but you go to PBS and want $40 or $50 or whatever, So to me, it's all about fucking corporate greed. I mean, if it's not one fucking thing, it's a million others. So, with me, the adult content is, I'm going to swear in my videos. I'm going to make it known that my videos is adult orientated. And frankly, that's all I'm going to be fucking doing is adult orientated. Talking about drinking a Pepsi, for example, or, whatever, or people sit there and say, oh, your videos are adult orientated because you're wearing a pink nightshirt and pants, yet your nipples are shown. Big fucking deal. It's an adult content thing. My nipples are shown. Who cares? I'm still covered. Not like some trannies that put over little black dots and they show their implants like, oh, look at my implants. I mean, I know this person who's a man in a dress who got double D's. They're like, oh, yeah, I'm a real woman. They look like fucking Deuce Bigelow. I mean, my Chloe's chuckling a bit there. She knows who I'm talking about. But the point is, they're fucking nasty. And so to me, when I do these adult contented videos, I'm saying, look, YouTube can turn around and say my videos are a hate crime towards transgendered people. It's not a hate crime, okay? Let me tell you why I do what I do. When I do a video, I do a rant, okay? My rant could be about Chloe, basically being an asshole. My video could be about fucking complaining about how families ignoring me and they're assholes. Nah, just saying. My video could be about ranting about the FTC fucking screwing up again, or how the fucking government had to basically be thumped when it comes to the cigar thing. They want to make it so premium cigars had to be banned, blah, 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 or other issues. And here's the kicker. Point is, my videos are adult content. I speak my mind. I'm just a low peon on the totem pole. They want to delete my videos. They're going to have some serious beef because, frankly, as Ahoy Chap knows, we ain't going away quietly on this. We aren't going to be going away quietly. It's like Independence Day. We will fight in the night. Look at the cigars. The cigars, apparently they reversed the cigar thingy, from what I understand. Now, for example, let's talk about the children again. They want to protect the children, okay? YouTube's 13 or over. If you're 13 and over, you don't need to have some censorship now, but YouTube had to because of them violating the law. Or Google. Now, I say, just, I don't know. It shouldn't be on the backs of the small people. It's like putting on the backs of the taxpayers the mentally ill, and the mentally ill are getting sicker and sicker, yet the taxpayers, they want to help the mentally ill, but can't because the politicians are saying, oh, we need to make billions of dollars or trillions of dollars in kickback for medicine. I mean, look at it that way. It's all about money and greed. I mean, literally. I don't make money off of any of my vids. I mean, I could, but I don't have a bank account, so I don't even cash in on any of the monetary value of, whatever. And to me, it's fine. I mean, they're looking at the people that make the money the most, whether it be full-time jobs doing YouTube or whatever, or, I can understand certain issues with my cousin Dinky. She's awesome. About video games drop the mind. Video games do to a point, but let me put it to you this way about video games, okay? There's people out there that make a fucking living doing video game reviews. Literally. When Aaron and I were doing videos for cigar reviews, we were getting donations. Companies sometimes or personal people want us to review cigars. That was cool. We were making money at all. He died, things changed. But the biggest people that have the biggest effect to this problem on YouTube is not going to be people like me. Maybe I'll have the ripple effect to a point. Maybe I'll have half my videos deleted. But my point is this. It's the ones that are making the money that are now panicked because they can't make money. They make money and they claim their video content's for adults when it's, YouTube is saying, oh, you're doing video game reviews. Video games are for children. Yeah, but not all video games are for children. You want to go do Doom Eternal, it's an adult contented video. Someone under 13 is watching and trying to get dad to buy Doom Eternal. Well, that's between the kid and the parent, not the government telling the parents what they can and can't do. I mean, telling the parents, no, you can't let this kid have a sex change because he's under 18 is, in my opinion, the parents know what's best for the kid. And The government doesn't like that idea, so they're basically saying no, no, no. I mean, yes, we know there's a lot of bigotry and hatred and racism divided in our country, but that's because of the problems we have. But in some ways, I agree with people out there in my own inner circle. For example, the trans community, again, adult content, that they're basically trying to force that every man has to accept a trans woman, or a trans woman is more genetically female than a regular woman, and so they're entitled to men, or a trans woman is entitled to a free sex change when, it's a mental illness. You can't work because you're trans, so give them a sex change, and then they can't work afterwards. So it's all these damn cons, and then they go and they take away records, for example, of the trans community. A genetic woman loses her rights as a woman because, for example, it's their opinion that, that they're fighting against a former dude, or they're fighting a former dude who's now built like a brick shit house and is beating them in competition, saying that they're female and they have to be addressed as female because it's human rights. Human rights, my ass.
Even worse, these trans also vote for the very same politician that takes away women's rights.
Oh, exactly. And then they say, it doesn't affect me because I'm a former dude, so it doesn't affect me. Yeah, it does. I mean, look at it. They would drum you motherfuckers out of the military.
It doesn't apply to me because I'm trans.
Well, they turn around and they lie to a guy and say they're intersex or hermaphrodite. They're not hermaphrodite. If you got a fucking woman pregnant, you are a fucking dude in a dress. Plain and simple. I mean, to sit there and see the memes out there on Facebook about your generation doesn't know whether you're male, female, or toaster is about right. I mean, literally.
Well, they want this on the millennials saying that. There's actually most of the ones who go around trying to say they're real women are baby boomers.
Well, the older baby boomers, like these fucking 16, 17-year-old guys that they're tired of being a man, so they want a sex change at 70 and make the taxpayers like my cousin-in-law pay for an organ. No. You live that long, I mean, look. It'd be like my cousin Corey, I love dearly, by the way. I'm going to use him as an example. Comes out and says he wants to be a female. I mean, for one, he wouldn't pass as a woman. And two, you've lived 42, 43 years as a man. Just live as a man some more. Not like go after a sex change at 50 or 60 or 70. I mean, it would be like my father-in-law at 76 going, yes, weird, I'm having a sex change and I'm becoming Jonna. 76 years old. Do you think there's a problem there? And then you hear these people say, oh, you have to have sympathy because, it's the right thing to go. They had to live a lie all their life, and they want to be happy. 76 years old, it's too late for a sex change. You can't just go put in implants to make you look good. You're still looking like a crusty man. Even if you had fucking facial thin, you're still going to look like a man at 76 years old. Your body's masculine point where you can't reverse it.
Yeah.
But that's a different story. But you see the point. Point is my videos are all adult content. When I basically sit there and say, oh yeah, fuck the trannies, I'm basically saying, fuck them. I don't want any part of those bastards. They're taking away transgender people's rights, demanding more rights, and then they turn around and demand to be accepted as a true female. No. When you can bleed and you can have a baby, then you can open your damn fucking trap and say you're a female. Until you bleed, fuck you, you're a man in a dress.
Yeah.
If you're a fucking female to male, and until you get a woman pregnant, you're just a fucking woman in boxers. Plain simple. They say, oh, this is hate crime. No, it isn't. It's basically freedom of speech. My speech is saying, fuck you. You're never going to change my way and my perception. It's like Amazon. Their algorithms, they know what you are looking for and what you're not looking for. They have so many tracking cookies. They keep an algorithm of your search history. I search for the same items every fucking month for pricing Amazon, eBay, and GameStop, and East Ireland. Sometimes I go to Google Shopping and check Google Shopping pricing. Best Buy. Again, the point is, and the government, let me just put it to you this way. The government's cracking down, yes. But the government also knows that some people are just dumb, stupid, blind, doesn't know what's going on, etc., etc., etc. And to me, it's stupid. And they know, and they know what's going on, and they know people are dumb. And they know a lot of people are innocent, and they're just basically venting about their hatred towards government control. Government got too big, and now they're basically saying, look, my opinion is this. We all need to take a chill pill right now, because as long as the comments keep flowing to the FTC, they might have to change their rule a bit to content providers. They might not. They might just say, fuck you all, fuck you, go die, fuck you, we're going to make money. But when they jail, say, 30, 40, 50 million people, where are they going to house them all?
Yeah.
Where are they going to do it? They're going to,
Let me guess, the government's going to, corporations like Amazon's going to step in and build private prisons like they did in the 70s and 80s.
No, they might just sit there and say, well, you can't pay your fine, we're going to gas you all, or lethal injection, Then it's going to cost billions of dollars to kill everyone off because of it. I mean, look at
they did that, too. There'd be a lot of people revolting and rising up because it's like genocide involved.
Well, it's like one YouTuber said, he doesn't want content-specific driven stuff for his I think it's his 10-year-old daughter. I agree. I mean, a girl wants to watch cartoons, let her watch cartoons. A girl wants to go to YouTube and
let me
Facebook,
ask you this.
Netflix.
Should people have to be executed all for what children should and shouldn't see?
No,
because you know what happened too. If that happened, there'd be a lot of people out there taking it out on the children, and they'll be going after children, killing off kids.
Well, here's the thing. Let me ask Chloe a question here. Chloe made a good point. Do you think my mother, if she was alive today, should be executed for giving me a 10 years old Playboy to learn the birds and the bees? No. She wanted to teach someone who's autistic with fetal alcohol spectrum disorder what to learn, what not to do. And there you go. I'm a girl, so Chloe's a girl. Thing is when we do content videos, we do it in a way that we talk about political, religion, video games. We're a big conglomerate of other different topics. My thing is when I talk, I'm talking in the adult contents, literally, like I said in the beginning of the video, parents can make the decisions. They want to give their kid a sex change, and the kid thinks of it, and then later the kid kills himself at 18, 22, 23 because the sex change was the wrong answer. It's on the family's head, not the fucking kid's head. Or, if the kid turns out, for example, me and Chloe has gone on and on and on, round and round and round on this subject. For example, gun control. For example, Chloe and I both agree gun control should be moderated to a point. But to sit there and blame fucking Call of Duty for the kid in New England or New Hampshire or whatever, Sandy Hook, to go and kill his mom and take her guns. You can't blame the fucking game companies, try to sue their ass. The game companies just made entertainment. You can't go and sue the fucking gun companies because, for example, the gun is a tool. Some use it for self-defense. Some use it for hunting, a tool for hunting. It'd be saying, well, we're going to go and ban guns because the gun kills people. Well, okay, what if someone learns how to use a bow and can fire 6 arrows in a minute and kill 6 people? Are you going to ban the bow and arrow? What if someone goes and knifes 32, 33, 40, 50 people?
So you'll have to spread gel and cut your bread with a spoon.
So there you go. Like Aaron said, you're going to go ban. What are you going to do? Ban the stapler because someone gets an idea to staple something to someone's head, or ban the nail gun? Literally, these people.
And then they suggest that you glue paper together instead of stapling it. Then what's going to happen next? They're going to glue. Someone will find a way to make a weapon with something. What are you going to do? Make it where everyone has to live in wear a safety gown and have to have a police do everything?
Well, let me put it this way. When Aaron was alive, Aaron made a comment once that if you start banning guns, you're going to start banning knives, you're going to start banning spoons, because, let's just say, as Aaron said, what are you going to do? Ban spoons because it makes people fat, because they keep shoveling food in their mouth, because they eat too much? Then what? You're gonna ban food and tell them that they can eat a little 4-ounce portion of mac and cheese and 4-ounce portion of Salisbury steak, and that's your dinner, or 4 ounces of mac and cheese and 4 ounces. I mean, literally, they're gonna, that's the point where and companies don't want fucking people to sit there and ban the food because they lose money. Well, it's like guns. You can't ban guns because gun owners will go and buy more guns. You can't go and ban spoons because people just go buy more spoons. You can't go and ban books because people just keep buying books and stockpiling them. Everything that you try to ban is not right. It's like YouTube. People are going to go and fight back and say, no, you're going to ban us because we're basically speaking our mind and speaking about how this is unfair practice. Throw us under the bus because, someone's fat, or, you don't see them banning McDonald's or Dairy Queen, Burger King, Taco Bell, Arby's, Carl's Jr., or
guess
Hardee's.
And guess who says they're the Messiah reincarnated, and they want children to believe it.
The point is the government can't sit there and do it. I mean, net neutrality, they tried doing that. Look what happened. States started making laws, and then the government had to realize the 9th and 10th Amendment protects the states from making the laws, and the government can't interfere. That's why some states basically say, oh, you have to have an extensive 9 million point background check for a gun. And the government says, oh, well, it's unconstitutional. The state turns around and says 9th and 10th Amendment. It's like the fucking freedom of speech. If you take away the freedom of speech, what do you got left to defend? The guns. Point is these people out there, they're getting tired of basically being told what they can and can't do. And like Aaron said, every little item in household usage today could be used as a weapon. Hell, he used to say a brick could be used as a weapon. You could thump people on the head and kill them, tossing too many bricks, stoning someone. I mean, I'm sorry to say, but is this what we've gotten ourselves into over 200 years of 244 years, I think, of our country is this way? I mean, look at it. You don't see England's censoring this stuff or that stuff. You see countries going, the people going and saying, oh, I like this TV show, I'm going to put it on YouTube. It's out of country. YouTube can sit there and say, oh, well, we can't touch it, it's out of country. But YouTube in country, they're turning around and saying, oh, we need fucking money because of this or that. We're going to fine the shit out of people just for adult content and non-adult content. I mean, literally, if you make your video adult content, you're basically stating, look, my video is going to be derogatory, vulgar. Maybe some people will think it's a hate crime in it, or, speaking your mind. Speaking your mind is not a hate crime. Sitting there and saying, well, I don't like the trans community because of this, or I don't like the gun owners because of that, or I don't like these motherfuckers telling me what I can and can't do on video games. I mean, the government came out with the ESRB, and that was basically the ratings for video games. I mean, I'm sorry. If you got a game that basically you're running around first-person perspective, shooting the shit out of people, then yeah, 17 or older. If you're basically playing a game like Elder Scrolls 3, 4, and 5, for example, where there's booze, again, the ESRB should say 17 or older because you're first-person perspective. You're sniping someone with either a rifle in Fallout or archery with a crossbow. Or
what about the videos like It Wasn't Me or Cheeto Christ? Are you going to take that down?
They could. I mean, they could sit there and take, for example, Chloe's talking about Randy Rainbow. They could take Randy Rainbow's video down because, for one, they could say, oh, Randy Rainbow's making money hand over fist, and, Randy Rainbow's video could be adult content like Cheeto Christ or just impeach him.
The
or
USSS wants him shut down.
It was so, for example, government agencies want him shut down because he's belittling Trump, but that's freedom of speech. Fortunately, YouTube can turn around and say, oh, well, this video is a video singing, impeaching, and swearing and stuff. But they could turn around and say that's his children's content when it's adult. When he clicks the adult box, what happens? He might be fined $43,000 for his video, $2,530. So, for example, people like Randy Rainbow that could be hit harder.
Because do you have an idea that this could also be what Trump wants?
Can't
because
say it.
He's trying to protect himself from impeachment. He wants to get rid of news.
Well, here's the thing. Chloe is right and Chloe's wrong. Now, the news part of it, if he wanted to get rid of news, he could just take away the FCC's ability and take away all news agencies, start his own. Then you're screwed. Fortunately, like Chloe was saying the other day, this morning, she was complaining about Amazon.
You still have news stations in the state that'll still keep going.
Yeah, but for example, most news agencies, let's just do hypothetical here. If Trump turned around, hypothetically, and I'm just saying this, President Trump took down the FCC. Nixon tried to do it with newspapers, Washington Post, New York Times, etc. If he took away the FCC to that, then all he has to do is go and take the FCC away. CBS, CBS, PBS, ABC, NBC, Fox, and took all those away and dissolved them all. That would just leave just his news agency. He'd be controlling the whole entire news media because he can. He could just have the FCC take it away. But then you'd have the government and all these people fighting tooth and nail to keep it. And that's what the FTC is getting as comments. Now, Chloe, for example, is talking about Amazon. Well, what if Amazon wants to buy up every company in the world? They can't. There's considered monopoly law. You remember in the 90s?
Is that soup still good?
Yeah. In the 90s, for example, the monopoly, so is the ham. We got to eat that today. The monopoly laws is the same. Nintendo tried to control the monopoly laws. So what happened? Game companies turned around, for example, and made, and again, adult content, made subsidiaries. Konami made Ultra. Other companies made other companies, and they had subsidiaries. So instead of making 5 games a year, they could make 10 or 15 or 20. Unfortunately, the problem with the gaming company is Nintendo is told, look, monopoly law, can't do it. So they got fined. Amazon would be the same way. I mean, look at the European Union. Amazon basically got fined I think it was $794 million or some stupid big number because they weren't paying taxes in the European Union. Taxes. And so, so taxes in the European Union. So they nailed him. Oh, well, that's fine. He doesn't care. He's got all that money to plop around. No one cares. But then again, you see people like and they say it, the media says it, the great Bernie Sanders, who turns around and says Amazon is paying peanuts to their wages. They used to get paid more, but now they're getting less and less. They're cutting corners. You get injured on Amazon, you get thrown away. Look up a Mickey. She's a video. I subscribe to her. Look up her YouTuber. Her videos can be shut down because she's talking bad about Amazon, for example. Again, it's all about protecting the corporate companies like Amazon. Mickey, for example, could be fined $42,530 per video for bitching about Amazon. But it is adult content. There you have it. So, she swears, let her swear, let her do what she wants. But the point is when it comes to YouTube, Amazon, whatever, the point is it's all about protecting, as Chloe said, corporate greed. And the point is look at the companies. Here's another reason why they're protecting the children. And this is why. You go on and you get things like I said, I'm only giving YouTube users, I don't know them personally, but like RGT85, Metal Jesus, others that review games, they get free games. DSP, Dark Sided Phil, free games, etc. And they could do adult contents like this game's fucking shit, Of course, the problem is with the game companies is they're giving games away free. YouTube doesn't want, and the government doesn't want these games giving out so the game companies can give games out to review free. And then, on top of getting free games, they get to make monetary gains. from reviewing them. So let's just say you're interested in IGN, and IGN says, "Oh, we're adult content. We're for." Gaming reviews of all these games. All of a sudden, they turn around and say, IGN, we're finding you $42,380 per game, which, review because you're adult content when you're actually earmarked for kids. So we're going to charge you for, say IGN has like 100,000 videos. They're going to be bankrupt overnight, pretty much, because the FTC is being greedy son of a bitches because they want to basically crush everyone. And so the game companies are now pulling back and saying we can't do this for these YouTubers that are reviewing our products because it could look at bad from the point of view. And that means eventually, even though the game companies might be making 100, 200, 300, a billion, 200, 2 billion, 3 billion on games, they're turning around and getting shafted. The small companies, let's just say Chloe's reviewing games, she might get shafted because her content might be all about blood and gut games. They're going to say, oh, these games are, like you said, children. A blood and guts game isn't for children. Now, if we and Chloe were reviewing Uno, for example, that'd be a video for all ages. That would mean we would have to basically keep it clean. But once you click on, apparently, the video, this is content for children, you lose the monetary value of your other videos. And so again, it's basically what they're doing is they're screwing over the people. Basically, it's like I said in an example video, if families are looking at a travel trailer, some of these people might say this content's for adults because they're talking about the features of a trailer, but how many kids under 13 is going to go buy a travel trailer? To me, that's considered adult content. Talking about things like guns or knives or swords or whatever, that's adult content. But to the YouTube, they can turn around and say, oh, this isn't adult content for whatever reason. So what YouTube's also doing is, besides throwing people under the bus, is they're turning around and they're going ahead and restricting people from making money. They don't want to pay the YouTubers any more monetary that's doing it full-time jobs, reviewing, say, the heated toilet seat, for example, or these people that sit there like Terry buys stuff, for example. They might say her stuff is for all ages, but to some people it might be adult content, like the Charmin Forever roll, for example. Okay.
I'm going to take them out soon.
Mm-hmm.
Up to the mental place to try to get scheduled again.
You can always call them.
Call them after a video.
Mm-hmm. And my video is almost done, everyone, but basically the point is Chloe's made some good points. I've made some good points. For all of you watching this, I hope you understand that this isn't going to just, the ripple effect isn't going to be hitting the ones that make a living off of YouTube. It's going to be everyone. And YouTube's going to be basically penalizing and purging videos because they can. And the FTC is basically going to try to enforce it. And it's not just about the people that speak their mind. It's about the people that want to overthrow the government or, want to talk about booze or drugs or, stuff that's adult content. You don't want to sit there and do a YouTube video where you're talking about heroin or crack or coke. You need to do videos that are creative. But at the same time, YouTube is now saying, quote unquote, that if you're going to do a video, consult with a lawyer. Now, if you're going to consult a lawyer on every fucking video you make, you might as well just get a social media lawyer in your back pocket. Keep them on hand for all videos for the future, because you might just sit there and say, well, this video is not adult content, but this is for children. No, it isn't. Basically, in my video, I basically stated my video is adult content. We're talking about children in general, and how the government wants to make them all robots. I mean, it's like one of my friends who does cartoons and uses YouTube to upload. He had his own server, Ill Will Press. He does Foamy the Squirrel. He's going to be basically penalized. I mean, people like Arlo, people that, that do cartoons like Samia Street. All these places are doing this, and it's all about corporate greed. I mean, people upload videos they're not supposed to, like Mormon videos. All of a sudden, the Mormons control the Mormon video, throw shit fit. Next thing you know, the video's taken down for copyrighted. That's all they're doing. We're going to copyright. They're not going to sit there and say, oh, you copyrighted this. We're going after you for monetary gain. No. They just delete your account and delete this, and that's it. No more Gmail. You can go set up Outlook. You could set up Yahoo. You can set up other email, AOL, and you still have an email address. The problem is they want to basically make it so it's harder to do things left and right, So it's not just about copyright infringement, but it's also trying to control social media and the social media outlets. Eventually, you're going to be basically reading new terms and services where Facebook, for example, turns around and says, hey, look, we own all your pictures. You don't own any of these. So you delete your account, they can still keep your pictures on a backup server. And they say, we own these. You can't use these pics anymore in your life. Or whatever, I mean, literally, the thing is the internet is getting to the point where you got companies, honestly, that set up the terms and services. They say they own your videos. They own your email address. They own your everything bit about your life. And the only thing in your life that you own is when you're off the internet, pretty much. So, for example, taking photos, taking videos, they'll say, oh, we own that video. And so, to me, it's not cool. It is totally bullshit. Plain and simple. Well, what's going to happen? No one knows. But here's my final thought on YouTube, social media. The FTC is going to be not going to enforce this without a fight. People out there that make a living on YouTube, they're basically fighting back. I mean, I don't make a living on YouTube, so to me, I do this as a form of entertainment, talking about my own personal life, transgendered issues, whatever. How I don't like the trans community or what video games I'm playing, what I'm looking into for the future, etc. But everyone else, be warned. Eventually the FTC is going to get their hand in the cookie jar when it comes to Facebook, MySpace, Tumblr, Flickr, all those social media places. And then what? Instagram. Again, it's
because they're not getting their way with the states putting that neutrality laws, so they're trying to attack the internet another way.
Exactly.
Shutting everything down.
Exactly, and so
if they can't force people to pay to use the internet extra to use each website, they're going to shut it down. Therefore, they need to put their own websites up and charge people.
Yeah, and then what happens? As Chloe said, they'll charge people. Then what happens, huh? People turn around and they say, fuck you, we're not going to do this. Then
people
the company
make their own websites.
And then they'll start charging on the servers. More servers, and eventually the government's going to lose the entire internet battle because they can't control the fucking internet. Look at it.
People will go on foreign sites.
Exactly.
And what American sites that survive will do is go to our countries and operate in our countries.
Exactly.
And target American users.
Well, exactly. And here's the thing, Chloe's completely right on this aspect.
What are they going to do? Put like a border wall blocking all signal from getting onto U.S. soil?
No. The problem with the U.S. is China's completely right. For example, the internet has got too complicated here. Like China has one server for one internet provider. We have hundreds. So the problem is because of it, we're basically being a country that's freedom of choice, freedom of speech. But the government's slowly taking that away, basically stating, you can be freedom of speech out in public, as long as you're not making hate crime, yada, yada, yada. But, eventually they're going to want to basically monitor everything. Look at Home Automated X, for example. Chloe and I love the jokes where they did the joke where they were asking Amazon Alexa if they work for the government, and all these jokes, making jokes. But there is a code word book thing for email, Like if you go and you say something like hypothetically, like you go and you say something like this is the bomb or this is da bomb, they're going to use the code word bomb to read your messages and say, what the hell are you talking about? When they realize you're talking about your dinner, oh, that's different. But they're using so many code words and they're saying they're fighting cyber terrorism or, or domestic terrorism or international terrorism that, I mean, look at the government. They want to know every move you make, whether online or offline. I mean, Chloe was talking the other day about how it's fucking bullshit that the government wants to force everyone to have a phone, whether it be a flip phone or a cell phone with a camera, so they could track your every move. I mean, I was reading the other day about Google, how they fucking abuse their powers by you have a phone, you log into your phone, even though unless you disable the GPS part and you go deep into the root system to disable it, it's still working. So they'll know, oh yeah, Chloe went to Walmart, or Chloe went to the Seattle Mental Hospital, or Chloe went to Portland. They want to know because they're watching every move throughout the country. It's like if the government wants to track you and say, oh yeah, Chloe claims Chloe was in Ohio when Joe Blow McGee got murdered, they're going to go into your phone, track you, and say, oh, but if you don't have a phone, oh, there's a red flag right there. You don't have a phone. Now, a lot of people are turning around and going ahead and buying a phone from Amazon, or not Amazon, like Vonage, like my father-in-law, or a different company. No, Uma. Or with me, I use Skype. So, as long as Skype's on, like this morning, someone called, turned out to be Melina. I tracked it. You could track phone numbers, and it's like, oh, Melina called. Wonder why Melina Healthcare wants to call. I don't have Melina. Chloe doesn't have Melina. Pfft, oh, well. Point is the government wants to know every little thing. They have a database that you don't know about, by the way. Again, adult content. For example, Social Security numbers. When you go to the hospital for insurance reasons, they build the insurance company, and the government gets those records hidden. So the government knows exactly if you have Medicare, why you went to the hospital. Mm-hmm. And then people say, oh, well, the government is getting too intrusive. That's what it is. And to people, I don't blame my cousin. My cousin, I know my cousin is not a collector of fine firearms or anything, but if my cousin had them, he'd keep quiet. It's like the internet, for example. He doesn't use the internet. He might message me like once a month, maybe when he's tipsy or whatever. Again, adult content, but you get the idea. The thing is, the government's getting too out of hand, whether it be the president worried about him being impeached, which Chloe says, impeach the fucker, to someone saying freedom of speech of impeaching the fucker.
He's trying to get government officials to crack down on people who would vote against him. He wants to crack down on Democrats.
Yeah, but the problem is, again, and I'm going to say this, not out of love for family that are Republicans or Democrats, but if you basically are cracking down on people that are voting against him, that is considered voter fraud or voter intimidation, because frankly, the country was founded on freedom of speech and freedom of principles, the freedom to make your own decisions. Now, if the government's saying you can't make the decisions, then there's a problem in this fucking country, because you can make your own decisions, whether you go and buy a gun, whether you go murder someone, whether you shoot up heroin, whether you beat a dog, whether you set a dog on fire, for example. Don't do any of this. Adults, if you're watching this, do not do any of this fucking stupid stuff. The point is the point I'm making is you have the rights to do what you want. You don't have when the government doesn't have a right to fucking watch your every move. It's like 1984. Government's watching you. You got a screen on your thingy, and the government pops on and says, you didn't do this right. I mean, literally, the point is the government shouldn't be spying on everything you fucking do.
In 1984, the government was doing this to people?
The movie. If you ever seen the movie 1984, there's two movies. There was the 1984 and The Way We Lived, I think it is, and one was about aliens controlling the world, and another one where you couldn't see the aliens. They looked like humans, but they were aliens, and they were brainwashing people. And the other one was, I believe, 1984 was a George Orwell's basically future thing in England. Again, it was out of England. Again, It's with the internet and everything else. It's. I believe it was 1984, but you get the idea, everyone. Point I'm trying to make out of love for you all is that the government wants to put a camera in when you take a shower, take a shit. And I'm sorry, but that is a private area of your home. You shouldn't be basically sitting there saying, "Yeah, Chloe Spice is taking a shit."
They want to make it a policy that you have to allow them to watch you.
The thing is a lot of people out there, old people, young people, these people are ill, and yet they don't want I mean, look, if the government thinks that you're going to go overthrow the government, they might as well label you as a terrorist or a mentally ill person. I mean, literally, the thing is to me is I don't think overthrowing the government is the right thing to do. But I also believe, my opinion, the government should step up to the plate on certain issues. Yeah, maybe a little more gun control. Maybe letting the government, letting the American people vote their opinions more and let the Congress and Senate do their job. Unfortunately, the Congress and the Senate are basically greedy assholes that have money in the corporate companies that are forcing things. I mean, look, Bernie Sanders said it best. Amazon needs to be put in their place, for example. YouTube and Google does. Google does not need to know everything you search for. They don't need to know whether you're looking for Depends or Pampers or a pair of tights or a bra or dilators for your vagina if you're transgendered or a mini skirt, and they don't.
You know what? These rich people is pretty one. What this is, they like to do this because they like to have caviar with their dinner.
Yeah, but the rich people also know that even though the rich people might be billionaires, I mean, look at Jeff Bezos, look at Paul Allen, look at Bill Gates, look at the guy that found Apple, the guy that died recently, who I'm talking, right? They all, quote unquote, would not let their kids under 18 use the internet. Why? Because they know how bad the internet is. The rest of the world can use the internet, and so the government's manipulating the internet to control people. Look at other countries. They have net neutrality. They have a lot of things. Here, we're basically being taxed the shit out of. You pay $60 a month for the internet, you might be paying 40 in taxes. You order something. I mean, let me put it this way: the government is not trying to force, and the states are trying to force it, so that the states, for example, I think there's 44 states under the union that's forcing taxes. So basically, you go to Amazon, okay, and you order something on your Amazon account, right? You get taxes. Now, some people said, oh, well, I'm just going to go across the border, buy it through Montana or Alaska, or, if it's Alaska, for example, if you live there, or Oregon, or another state that doesn't tax people. And then they turn around and say, you didn't pay your taxes because, now you got to pay a use tax. So if you say you buy something in Oregon, say you buy a pair of panties and a pair of pantyhose, and you go back home, they can sit there and say, did you buy this? Oh, you did in Oregon? Oh, we need the sales tax of $1.08, or you got to file taxes, and you might be paying like $9 for a pair of pantyhose you bought for $3 because they want their fucking use tax. I mean, the states are getting greedy too, so they're basically sitting there trying to make it so the federal government turns around and submits to the states because the states demand it, the taxes. For example, the other day I bought some on eBay. And eBay used to be a tax-free thing. Even if you bought something from someone in Florida that's not even registered in Washington, you still got to pay the fucking tax. And they're like, oh, and then when you pay the tax, eBay takes it out of the payment for the guy that's doing the tax, selling the item for $30, and it goes to the tax man. I mean, literally. And now they're trying to force it with Facebook, the marketplace. So if you buy a $3,500 motorhome, you're paying $350 minimum in taxes for a piece of junk. I mean, literally, again, they want to know everything you purchase. So, for example, you might get a discount, free shipping and free this, and pay $6.50, $6.50 a month for Amazon Prime. But at the same time, they're basically saying, oh, this is what you're going to be paying in taxes. So, so even if you sit there and say, oh, well, I'm going to go and order this item on eBay because eBay is cheaper. eBay may be cheaper by like, say, $100. but you're still paying the fucking taxes. So anyway, look at it. They get you for it. For example, Target taxes, Walmart taxes. If you have a store in Walmart that's a Walmart and one in Washington, and yet you have a Walmart distribution, you got to collect taxes. I mean, everything you do, it's taxes. So the government wants to know everything you're purchasing, and that's why they keep the cookies. So they're infringing on your rights to know what you're buying. Now, if you buy a gun, yeah, when you go and you pick your gun up, you got to pay the B&O tax and this sales tax and this tax and that tax. Even if you had it shipped from another state, you still got to pay the fucking taxes. So it's still a taxation thing. So not only is they're trying to make that, they're also trying, as I said with YouTube, the monetary thing. You make money off of monetary. You still got to pay your income tax to the states and maybe federal taxes. So the government's turning around and YouTube's basically, saying, oh, well, this person here gets say 30 million views a month. He's getting a lot of money for his videos. YouTube turns around, shuts him down, and says, oh, well, you got 30 million views, you're making monetary on adult content when it's children's content. So if they put it under children's content, they don't have to pay much in monetary values because they're saying it's for kids. So what they're doing is they're trying to deem everything that's people that are making money, making a living on YouTube, they're turning around and saying monetary values. Then they change it over to children. And then, when it isn't children content, so they don't have to pay the monetary value. It's all about fucking corporate greed. Again, like Chloe said. But this video's gone long enough, but you guys get the idea. Maybe I'm not. Maybe I'm talking through my ass. Maybe not. But I will tell you on my adult content video. I will tell you that the problem is again, it's all about monitoring everything you do, whether it be a video diary. That you only have like 3 subscribers, maybe you have 500 subscribers. They're basically targeting the bigger companies that are the bigger companies, that have a lot of viewers, like IGN and other people, and so these people here, I guarantee out of 32 million video profiles, I guarantee about 80 to 90% of them, probably mine included, will be deleted because of the corporate greed. Now, if they want to leave mine up because I'm useless, fine, so be it. Who cares? I mean, after January 30 or December 31st, I will be making the decision whether I delete the YouTube channels itself or not. I mean, literally, I don't want to. People say, "Oh, it doesn't affect me," but the ripple effect could be there. They could basically say all my videos are kid content, and because I almost have 2,000, that's like $86 million. I'd be in the hole, and I'm not going to be justifying that. Now, if other people want to freaking sit there and go through all their videos and change the content, I mean, no one's going to go through in the next 6 weeks and go in and change all their settings in 2,000 videos or 3,000 or 5,000 to adult content, so older videos are older. Now we have to check that box. So technically that's what I'm doing. So anyways, with that said, everyone, my opinion on Coppa is it's bullshit, literally. And I implore you all to find a video with Coppa, find a link that talks about it, and put your comment into the FTC and tell them that you don't support Coppa, because it's not just about controlling the YouTuber, but it's controlling the life. And if you give in to the FTC shit, you're going to give in to everything else. Eventually, it won't even pay to have YouTube. But then again, you could change over to a different video provider to upload your vids. Unfortunately, again, the problem with that is, as Chloe said, is they'll just crack down on all the of them. So to you, it might not pay to even do YouTube videos anymore, which means if everyone out there that's in America doesn't do YouTube, or other people don't use YouTube and they change over to a different provider, which I highly recommend, show YouTube you mean business, cripple them. And the way to cripple them is it's not a cyber attack or a terrorist attack. Just don't use the services anymore, and they'll falter and they'll lose. But Google will still make their money off of watching everything you do by selling your information to bigger companies and tracking your cookies and every movement. Now, if you decide to change to Apple, again, Apple's monitoring everything you do. So the best place to do it is go out, buy prepaid phones that are flip phones without the GPS built in, the track everywhere you go without a smartphone. They're going to only know the random location when you call on your flip phone and be like, oh, yeah, Chloe, I need underwear. Okay, click. They're going to only know that the nearest tower to near it is or triangulate, maybe. Otherwise, they're not going to know exactly where you are. And that's the thing. The government just wants to know everything. So they're trying to do deals on smartphones and smart technology. And, look at, again, the government. Okay, now Dinky and Corey and Aunt I and Uncle Steve and other people out there have said it time and time again. Do not trust the government when it comes to Alexa, the Microsoft version of Corti. I'm saying it that way so no one, or Siri, because they're listening for anything. They could be recording you right now and sending it all to the fucking government, and you wouldn't know until you had someone knocking on your door saying you're arrested for talking about, let's just say hypothetically, jumping up on a desk and farting in the president's face, for example. I don't recommend it. Don't even think about it. Secret Service would get you every time, but you get the idea. Don't do anything stupid. That's my motto. When I do YouTube and when I do Anchor and other podcasts, I always speak, and Chloe knows this, don't do anything fucking stupid. Otherwise, you might end up like Chloe sometimes and end up having someone basically report something and have someone knock on your door, which is not a pretty sight. Just saying. Just as I've been trying to teach Chloe, control your temper and don't do anything stupid or rational, and you will get through this storm just fine. Problem is, all these people are saying, oh, it's the end, we're going to be fine. No, you won't. They got to implement it. They got to go comb through billions of videos to find out what's right and what's wrong. Could take a year, could take a year and a half. In the meantime, just like the cigar industry, just like the net neutrality, these people got thumped, literally. A lot of it was corporate greed. Corporate greed, net neutrality. They wanted to control, like I said, what's on the internet. They want to know what you're doing at all times. They want to know if you're taking a shit or piss. That's why that's why Amazon turns around. And by the way, let me just ask you this. Chloe already knows the answer. But why do you think Amazon discounts their Kindle books or their Alexas at Christmas time? So they want to get everyone on board so they can give all your information to the fucking government. Whether it be the British government, the American government, the fucking Canadian government, whatever. They want to know everything you do. They want to know if you're basically eating a ham or fucking turkey. They want to know if you're taking a shit or taking a piss. They want to know what you're doing at all times. Secret is this. When you're done at night, unplug your USB if you have an external camera. Turn your computer off. Fold your laptop screen so it's not on all the time. For example, they can't track you all the time. You don't have a phone? So be it. You have a phone? So be it. Right, Chloe?
Mm-hmm.
The best bet is to not let the government, cut down your things. The government knows when you're traveling because they control government cards. They control credit cards. They know if they go to a bank and say, I want statements for these people and find out someone bought a train ticket, well, the government can do that. I mean, literally, the government can do too many things at one time.
What about automobiles in the future?
Well, yeah, exactly. They're putting in cell phones in there. They're putting in Siri. They're putting in whatever happened to that North Star or whatever, where you push a button at GMC and you can talk. I mean, didn't that basically, didn't they take away those or whatever it was? They
took away a lot of stuff. They want to be able to know where you're going at all times.
Well, exactly. And that's why they have cell phones that they're giving deals for government phones through the Obama phone program. So they know exactly. As long as it's a smartphone, they'll track you. And if you don't have a smartphone, they can't track you. And they want everyone to be tracked. They want to know what you're doing at all times. So it's not just about YouTube. It's about everything. So YouTube is just one of the nails in the coffin to control the entire world through Google.
Gets their way. it's going to be a crime not to have a phone. You don't have a phone, you go to prison for it.
Well, yeah, exactly. It's like, like I said, the government knows your medical records before you do. The government knows everything. The government knows when you fart, when you don't fart. They know everything. And so, like Dinky said, like Aya said, like Steve said, if you can avoid Amazon Alexa, do it. If you can avoid Siri, do it. You can avoid QWERTY, do it. Problem is, they're just listening in. Why do you think the government has implemented QWERTY in laptops and desktops? Now, if you have no microphone connected to your desktop and you have QWERTY installed, which I've seen it in computers at the library, QWERTY can't be accessed. So technically, what are they going to do? QWERTY's still sending data back through Chrome, Firefox, Opera, Mozilla, Safari, etc., telling you what they're doing. The government's getting data on you no matter what. So the net neutrality. So here's the thing. If you go to Amazon, you go to RPG Gamer, you go to CNN, you go to YouTube, you go to Google Shopping, you go to Google, the government's going to look at you, they don't know what you're thinking at 1 minute. For example, me, I'm unpredictable to a point. I could sit there and I can tell Chloe, hey, I want to go shopping tomorrow. Okay, let's go to Walmart. Okay. Meanwhile, the government says, oh, Rita's looking at Walmart. She might be going to Walmart. They'll assume I'm going to Walmart soon, or I'll say something on YouTube video. But then they turn around and they sit there and they say, oh, she just went to Burger King's website. She wants to know what they're having, what specials they have, or what deals, or whatever. The government's going to be like, well, there she goes. She's going to eat something. Now, for sometimes, Messenger, for example, they'll track you and say something like, oh, Rita's, Airy Sky, Rita Lee's looking at menus. She might be looking at a local restaurant. Or sometimes with no phone, I'll message my cousin later when I get home. Oh, yeah, I went and had breakfast. I had big old omelet for breakfast. The government's going to find out about it and be like, yeah, Airy Sky had an omelet. But they don't know I went to get the omelet, or I went and got tobacco, or I went and got packing tape, or I went and did some errands around town. I don't have a phone. I don't sit there. I mean, if I had, when I had 3G, 4G library card, I took it with me, and they knew I was on the ferry, because the GPS connected to the tablet, which connected to the 4G device, which they knew I had because it was on loan, because I was signed in. But otherwise, they could sit there and say, oh, yeah, Airy Sky didn't do this today. And later, government could be sitting there watching my video. Oh, she went to Walmart. Oh, but they could just sit there and say, oh, well, maybe she went shopping. They can pull up my account info, through government channels. And oh, yeah, she just went and bought a can of dip or a roll of dip. She went and got groceries at Walmart. She got ferry tickets. She got food on the ferry or whatever. I mean, literally the government does this and they want to know everything you're doing, for whatever fucking reason. So to me, the only way, and I'm not saying do this or don't do this. I'm just saying this is me right now. I don't have a phone anyway, which is a blessing. But my point is I'm not trying to hide what I'm doing. I'm just basically out there. I mean, look, my cousin Dinky the other day was yelling at me about a guy who tried sexually assaulting me and Chloe. Again, attempted sexual assault, adult content, but you get the idea. Don't talk about it on YouTube. Well, they let the guy go. There you go. See? Point is there's nothing we can do about it. So, when it comes to the government knows everything you're doing, shape or form, whether you're pinching a load or whatever, as long as you have a phone, they can track you. They can track Dinky, for example, taking a shit, for example, or Corey or Aunt Io or Uncle Steve or any of my cousins that have phones and they got their phone in their pocket and they're going, when I had a phone, they probably, Hurry Scar's taking a shit. Yep. We know they're taking shit. Or they can track it through different things. The government keeps blueprints on everything. They probably have a blueprint on the ferry and they got it all up there, monitoring everyone who has a phone on the ferry and going, oh, yeah, Airy Sky is going to the pisser. Oh, she went to the galley. I mean, literally, this is what they do, and to me, I don't even let it affect me. People out there with bipolar or borderline or schizophrenia, they think the government's after me. Like I said in my videos, unless you do something fucking stupid, they're not going to knock on your door. They're going to look at me and be like, oh, yeah, she's looking at these video games to purchase, these movies to purchase. She's watching Star Trek. She's making ham. She's, the government, literally, right now, the government doesn't have a connection, I don't think. Don't quote me on it, on what you buy grocery-wise. Now, if they did, they'd be like, Harry Sky bought 20 bags of chips, for example, jokingly, or a bottle of bourbon, or, the only way the government is now watching what you're buying grocery-wise is if you go to Amazon, Walmart, Target, and say you go to Amazon, right? And you're sitting there and you're placing an order, and that's why Amazon wants to control the entire grocery network if possible, is you could sit there and you could buy 10 cases of overstuffed raviolis, and they'll be like, Harry Sky bought 10 cases of overstuffed raviolis, for example. They'll know it, and then they'll say, oh, well, your diet's pretty crappy because you're eating overstuffed raviolis. There you go, overstuffed raviolis. Now, Amazon does have an access where you can buy booze if you provide certain information. They'll know that. See, Amazon wants to know what you're buying, how you're buying it. So you don't think the government is sitting there watching your every move. They want to hear every move through their Alexa devices. They probably put a listening device in their Kindle. Point making is they want to know everything. Now, Walmart hasn't come up with a special program or little device like an Echo or a Home Hub to buy stuff. They have a Home Hub, yes. To get to the Home Hub, the problem with the Home Hub is on the government, which the government doesn't like, is the government supports Amazon, big global conglomerate. They don't like Google because Google, even though rumor has it government owns Google, Google can order one item at a time. So unless you fill your shopping cart out and say check out and you have like 20 different items from 20 different stores, you can only reorder one item at a time. Now, Amazon, you could just sit there and fill up whatever you want, how you want, when you want, and it's done. So the government is basically trying to push discounts for these Alexas and Kindles and everything else. So the government can turn around, and by the way, Amazon makes money on their advertising for their Kindles. But the point being is when it comes to Amazon, it's a moneymaker for them. They're basically working with the government. Government gives them contracts, CIA, NSA contracts, NASA contracts. You don't see Google with any of these contracts, only Amazon. So make no doubt, if you like that free shipping, Amazon's made deals with the USPS, UPS, FedEx, and they're basically getting mad that, the free shipping, is, now if you order, see, Amazon wants you to order more and more stuff. Eventually, they want to know what your food habits are. I mean, look, they're trying to buy the pharmaceutical companies out. Again, monopoly laws, but they're trying to buy out everything that they can get their grubby hands on so they can be a one-stop shop and put out mom and pop business. But if they put mom and pop businesses out, they're putting companies out of business. Eventually, the only thing that people are going to be doing is going to Amazon warehouses or grocery stores. People still believe in grocery stores. I mean, a lot of people where I live, they believe in Amazon, Walmart, Target, etc. because we live in an island. But you get the idea. The government wants to know everything you do. And they're trying to make it more and more convenient so that Amazon's getting more contracts. I mean, look at, for example, Amazon's working with the USDA to now access food stamp benefits for benefits in New York. If the pilot program goes good, they'll make it nationwide. Eventually, you won't even have to leave your house to get your groceries, except for eggs, bacon, unless they have a fresh produce thing where they can have a little warehouse deliver your stuff from every corner of the place.
They'll find a way.
That's what I was just going to say. They'll find a way, but in the meantime, it hasn't happened, but you get the idea. So basically, when I say YouTube's being crushed, it's not just about YouTube, it's the fucking government. They want to work with one company like Amazon to control the entire fucking world. Eventually, countries like Germany with the European Union won't be able to hold their own against Amazon unless they keep thumping back. And eventually, Amazon will just keep paying the fees and fines and still raising prices to cover their fees and fines onto the consumer. So anyway, look at it.
Or what they'll do is they'll just treat their employees more like slaves.
Well, exactly, that too. But you get the idea, everyone. So just, in the meantime, take a chill pill, think deeply, clearly, and don't do anything stupid. Think about Amazon. Think about the monopoly laws. Think about Google. Think about Apple. Think about all these things, and think about what I said. You know, it's not just about one company controlling everything. It's about one country trying to control the entire fucking world by domination. By, if they can't control it by land mass, they will do it through the internet, and that's what they're doing right now. And it's not pretty. This video has gone long enough. Sorry to say, I need to make some more coffee, so please add and subscribe. Please post comments. Please leave feedback, suggestion. Hit that like, subscribe button. Hold some fun eating for your family, including your dogs and your bunnies. Thanks for watching, everyone. God bless you, and take care. And until next time, there you go. Have a nice day.